Greetings, everyone. Bon dia. We started on the sandy beaches of Australia, and now we're up here high in the mountains of Brazil, north of Sao Paulo, in beautiful, scenic Serra Negra. Chris Pastras here next to the Santo Bowl. Tristan Rennie qualified first yesterday, and today he meets our Park Series Select Pros for our semifinal and final. All this en route to our Global Championships later in the year. The action is heating up. To hear more about today's event and the Vans Park Series as a whole, we're sending it to my bros in the booth. Take it away, fellas.
Thank you so much, Chris Pastras. Chris Cote here with Neil Hendricks. As Pedro Barrios said when we first showed up, welcome to the jungle. A fitting introduction. We're about 20 minutes outside of Serra Negra, Brazil, 2 hours outside of Sao Paulo, an epic location with an insane skate park.
Yeah, one of my favorite things about the Vans Park Series is the diversity of the skate parks we've chosen for the 2017 tour, and the Santo Bowl here in Serra Negra is completely different from the last stop in Manly Beach, so expect a big shakeup in the leaderboard today.
One thing we know about Vans Park Series is you have to be able to adapt to various skate parks around the world. Tom Shar adapted amazingly well to the skate park custom built on the beach in Manly, Australia. This is your Vans Pro Skate Park Series 2017 schedule. From Manly Beach, we find ourselves 8,300 miles away here at the Santo Bowl in Serra Negra. From Serra Negra, we're going to go way up north, Malmo, Sweden, May 26th and 27th, and from then it's the home stretch to the World Championships.
Yeah, we're taking it back to North America for the couple locations we hit every year. First is the Hastings Skate Park in Vancouver, legendary spot, July 7th and 8th. Then we're taking it down to the Vans US Open of Surfing. It's always a big show, August 1st to 5th in Huntington Beach, Surf City, USA.
Of course, all this leading up to the World Championships later on this year. It's going to be an incredible series of events. Cannot wait not only to see the rest of these events unfold, but also what we're about to see today. Qualifiers was absolute madness. The previous contest in Manly Beach, more of the same. We went shotgun format, racing rain at the end of our quick, hot session, straight into the finals. Tom Shar took it down from beginning to end.
Doesn't it feel like every Vans Park Series we're racing the rain? Look at this combo that Tom Shar put together. Those 3 big banging tricks to start it off. I talked to the judges after the event. They said Tom Shar just ticked all the boxes. Had really good air tricks, did really good lip tricks, kept his speed for the entire 45-second run, and had a couple surprising bangers there at the end. Tom has been known to be a little bit predictable in the past. You knew the tricks he was going to do, but check out this last banger right there. No comply tail slide. No one saw that one coming. Big back D revert right at time. He had the weekend of his life in Manly Beach.
Tom Shar had 2 runs that would have won that contest. Insanely consistent skateboarder. Picking a winner here on the Vans Park Series is incredibly challenging, as we saw in Manly Beach. But we're going to try just that right now. Neil Hendricks, who is going to win the contest here? Stop number 2.
Hey, if we're in Brazil, I'm going with Pedro. We've seen how Pedro performs in his home country crowd, and this big, beefy deep end really suits his style. He's going to blast in that deep end. He's got good contest IQ. In the past, a few years ago, sometimes Pedro would overamp. No more. He knows what he's doing when the contest is on.
Well, the crowd is amping right now. I'm going to go with the underdog, but another Brazilian favorite, Murilo Perez. He's a hometown hero from right here in Sao Paulo. He's been ripping in practice. He's injury-free. He's due for a win. I'm going Murilo Perez. Pastras, who you got?
A couple good picks, fellas. I'm going with the young buck, American Corey Juno. His confidence is up after his Bolawama win in February in Australia. He's super hungry because he hasn't been on the Park Series podium since last year in Vancouver. And simply put, Corey has one of the best lines in the park. If he lands it all and makes the frontside flip at the end, expect to see Corey Juno on the Park Series podium here in Brazil.
Solid picks from both of you. Let's talk format for this contest. Just 2 major changes that we're going to see today. Since we did have some of our Pro Select skaters not able to make it, we took the top 14 from qualifiers to meet our 6 pre-seeded skaters. The major difference here is 30-second runs. So we usually have 45-second runs. Why the difference, Neil?
Yeah, this park is a lot smaller footprint, 30-second runs. These guys are going to have to pack it all into 30 seconds, quick hits.
The judging criteria is, as always, skate the best, rip the hardest, you're gonna win. They want to see speed, power, flow.
Judging always comes down to degree of difficulty, style, and use of the park.
You gotta knock the judges off their seats. Well, skate fans, you are gonna be in for an incredible show. Serra Negra, it is going off. The crowds are here in full effect. Santo Bowl looking amazing. Our skaters are ready. We're gonna take a quick break. We will be back with live action from Vans Park Series. Stop number 2, live from Sao Paulo, Brazil. All right, skate fans, get ready for some action. We are live from Santo Bowl here in Serra Negra, Brazil. And no matter how you're watching, we are excited for the show that's about to set forth. Chris Cote here with Neil Hendricks. Neil, this park really grows on you, doesn't it?
Yeah, this thing is really tricky. You know, it's a challenge for these guys because there's not a lot of flat bottom. The walls come up really, really quick. Look how steep that waterfall is, going from the shallow end to the deep end. That thing really sucks your speed when you're coming out of the deep end back into the shallow.
Well, we had some insane warm-ups throughout the past couple of days. There you see Chris Russell. He is looking solid, looking much better than he was in Australia, and we love to see when Russell's on.
Hey, how about this? We have no rain. The forecast was looking awful for today. The rain has been haunting us on the Vans Park Series Tour. We got blue skies. We're ready to go.
One thing, if you are watching at home and you got to go run some errands or do something, don't worry about it. We got a Vans Park Series app. Download the free iPhone app to watch these broadcasts wherever you are. Of course, our broadcast partner, Red Bull TV. And there you see the crowd has come in full effect. And this is a mission to get here. Here's your semifinals. Heat number 1. Michael dos Passos from Floripa, Brazil. Carl Berglund from Malmo, Sweden. Miguel Oliveira from Curitiba, Brazil. Roman Pavic, and a last-minute injury replacement. Omar Hassan is coming in for Taiki Silva, who unfortunately went down yesterday in practice. But Omar was here early, ready to rip. So we're psyched to see the 43-year-old from Costa Mesa take that replacement.
Yeah, Omar ended up 15th place yesterday in our prelim round. He was the first alternate. Taiki Silva took a huge slam on his ribs yesterday, couldn't answer the bell. Omar is in as an alternate.
So remember, best one run counts. Each skater gets 4 opportunities. You get 30 seconds. If you fall, you're done. So to start us off here at stop number 2, live from Sao Paulo, Brazil, Michael dos Passos.
How many rippers do we have from Florianopolis? Those guys have such an amazing scene down in Santa Catarina. Lip slide, Smith grind across the back wall. We got a big, giant deep end at this stop of the Vans Park Series. Probably the deepest in section we've had on the entire Vans Park Series tour the last couple of years.
Wow, these 30-second runs are going to be flying by throughout the day. A solid start here for Michael dos Passos.
I love that half cab over the spine without grabbing. Big Madonna. That's a solid run to start.
That's how you want to start it. Stay on your board for the entire 30 seconds. Michael dos Passos, he just used the whole park. The judges love that. He was flying. He hit nearly every wall. That's going to be a great start for... We have 5 out of the 20 skaters in the semis from Florianopolis, Brazil. That tells you something about how good the skateboarding scene is in Florianopolis.
Yeah, they have so many rad backyard bowls, public skate parks down in Florianopolis. We were there last year at one of the new parks. You always see footage of the guys skating at High Adventure, all the Posadas down in Florianopolis. Such an amazing skate scene. Hopefully the boys got us tuned in down at High Adventure. What's up, Florianopolis?
I'm loving that we have a high score to start us off, a 74.91. That's how you want to start a contest. Now, all the way from Malmo, Sweden, Carl Berglund. Carl, he qualified 5th yesterday. He's super consistent, stylish. He's a Vans Europe rider. Just missed the cut in Oz, but he is into the semis here in Brazil.
Yeah, I was really curious to see how Carl skates this park because he's got such a great style, really flowy. But like I mentioned, you got to have really quick feet. There's quick hits with not a lot of flat in this park. Carl has really adapted well.
I love his mix of old school and new school tricks too.
Yeah, he's got a good invert too. There's a little, looked like his back foot came off a little bit on the invert.
But most likely we'll see Carl just rip that shirt off as we go into the semis here. He gets fired up.
Wow, little nose blunt on the teardrop to end it. I love that nose grab 360 in the corner pocket. Another great run, Carl Berglund.
So far, so good. 2 skaters in, skating for the entire 30 seconds of their run. And you see, really, that added 15 seconds that we see at some of the other stops, it's a long time when you think about 30 seconds to 45 seconds. But in Australia, we saw the last 15 seconds kind of being thrown in the side to some of our qualifiers and Park Series Select pros.
Yeah, in Manly Beach, a lot of the guys really struggled to keep their speed for the whole 45 seconds. It's going to be different challenges at this stop. Shorter runs, so you're going to be able to keep your speed, but I think you're just going to have to pack those 30 seconds full of tricks. No time for a lot of setups or carving around.
So I'm saying machine gun style skateboarding, wall to wall to wall, trick to trick to trick. Well, you hear the crowd starting to go a little bit wild. That's because we have Miguel Oliveira. He's 17 years old from Curitiba, Brazil. He is a creature fiend. One of his sponsors is called Stone Burger.
Oh, after Roman, I'm sorry.
There you see on screen Miguel Oliveira. He's an event wild card. So we had a solid list of wild cards coming into this contest.
Yeah, Miguel showed up at a couple of Vans Park Series stops last year. Did really well at Florianopolis and again in Huntington Beach.
He's grown his hair out. He's looking like a kind of a Brazilian Robin Bollier.
Love it. Rail slide across the back wall with speed. Love boning out the tail on the Indy air.
Oh, I got stuck in the deep end right there, it looked like.
Yeah, and if you lose your line in this park, it's really tricky to get your flow back.
Yeah, lean there.
Back D revert in the corner pocket. Backwards with about, whoa, completely hung up on the switch crooks. Still made it.
That was sketch. I love it.
Yeah, it looked like he got a little lost there at the end, but was able to hold on.
Neil, as a judge, when you see somebody finish their run with a sketchy yet made trick like that, does that help your run in a way?
It does help, but you still want to, you'd rather end with a big banger. That was definitely sketch points, though.
Well, and we want to, of course, if you speak Portuguese, we do have a Portuguese feed to epic commentators right next door to us. And I'll tell you, the skate scene in Brazil has been thriving for decades, and it is just getting bigger and better. Miguel Oliveira, his first run comes through a 68.42. So why the difference there between Passos and Oliveira?
It looked like, you know, Miguel lost his line a little bit, he ended up going backwards at the end of his run. I think he missed a couple tricks. I expect him to improve next run.
So for the 4 words, he was looking for more flow. But here we go. From Ocean City, Maryland, 15 years old, Roman Pavic.
Roman was one of the viral sensations of this Park Series stop from a big practice collision he had with Willie Lara right there on the teardrop at the end of the spine. Eggplant revert in the deep end. Love this line that he's putting together. Luckily, Roman was okay after that monster slam that you might have seen on the Vans social media pages.
But he did a backflip onto his head. It was scary, but he walked away just fine.
Back trail, fast plant to fakie in the deep end.
A little Neil Hendricks shout out right there.
Solid run for Roman Pavic. That was a great start.
You can go watch his slam as well on at Top Roman. And he seems psyched on his first run. So, you know, this kid right here is kind of the ultimate student of old school and new school park skating. You saw some of the moves. What generation did that span, that run?
He just has a rad style. It's pretty rare for kids his age to just look that good on a skateboard. Usually the kids have the tricks, but they don't look that good. Roman looks awesome, even just when he does a Smith grind or a crail slide.
All right, your final skater here for Heat 1, the legend, 43 years old from Costa Mesa, California. Last minute, injury replacement. He's ready to rip. Omar Hassan.
Yeah, they told Omar he was going to be an alternate yesterday after he missed the cut, and he had heard that Kaike took a monster slam, so he told me he was ready to practice, but still didn't think that he was going to be in the contest. About 5 minutes before the contest, they said, Omar, you're in.
Definitely not scared to come in fakie, even on these sketchy sections.
Yeah, and Omar's been coming down to Brazil for years, always hangs with Pedro and Andre and the layback crew, so he always feels comfortable down here.
A little slam at the end of his run, so 30 seconds. It's looking like a great call for so far from what we've seen. All of our skaters almost, you know, getting 28, 29 seconds, but nearly all of our runs have gone the entire 30-second span.
Yeah, 45 seconds in this would be hard. You'd do like 8 laps around this whole park in 45 seconds, so good call on a little bit shorter
There's a fine
run.
line, isn't there?
Yeah.
We are back to the top of our order. The crowd is going absolutely berserk for Michael Dos Passos, 20 years old from Florianopolis, Brazil.
Looking at the scores, it looks like he got bumped out by Roman Pavic, who bumped up into first place with a 77.24. Look at that big frontside grab disaster.
It's massive.
Love the big lanky style. That is a tricky hip to do an ollie over. Wow, tail grab burial.
That's the first big trick I've seen over that spine. That was insane.
Last couple tricks. Oh, alley-oop, front feeble, coming out forwards. Took a heavy slam on his wrist.
It looks to be in some pain, but folks, we do have, of course, as always, an incredible medical staff. He's walking it off. What happened here, Neil?
Look at this tail grab varial, little pop shove it, grabbing the tail.
Yeah, this was the glory before the defeat, but luckily for Passos, the slam happened at the very end of his run, and sounds like he's walked it off.
Yeah, you
Could
see,
get checked on.
He already had his wrist taped, so it looked like he came into the event with an injury, probably just aggravated that wrist. Pedro Barros checking on his fellow Floripa Ripper.
There you see a skater for life getting tatted on his arm. The love of skateboarding runs super deep. And there you see your semifinals, current top 5. Roman Pavic, a 77.24, of course, early here in the semifinals. We're going to be taking a pretty harsh cut, as usual today. 20 skateboarders are going to be cut to 8.
Yeah, and our last couple heats are stacked with our Vans Park Series Select Pros, so we've got to wait all the way to Heat 4 for Corey Juneau, Pedro Barros, Ivan Federico, and all the guys that are Select Pros straight to the semifinals. So the heats only get more stacked as we go down the order.
We're going to go back to Carl Berglund, 17 years old, from Malmo, Sweden.
Love that stylish, high-speed tail slide on the back wall.
He is always super consistent. He just missed the cut down in Australia. But man, he has been right there on the edge for a lot of these contests, and it looks like he's pretty fired up today.
Yeah, rad lines. Eggplant in that deep end. Alley-oop nose grab disaster on the teardrop.
Walks it out right on the 30-second mark. I think the judges like to see that kind of confidence. You finish your last trick and you pop out. Like, I got this. Carl Berglund.
You know, I've always talked to Carl about skating in this climate is so different for him growing up in Sweden. It's hot and muggy, jungle humidity here in Brazil.
Opposite.
It's completely exact opposite of the climate that he grew up skating in.
Scores are coming through for Berglund. It's enough to get him in 3rd place, a 72.70. What do you think, Neil? Look into your magic ball. What kind of scores are going to be enough to qualify into the top 8?
Yeah, it's hard to say just from this first heat. I think you're going to have to be in the 80s.
All right, Miguel Oliveira. He's got 30 seconds on the clock. A high-speed start.
Yeah, we had never seen Miguel until he showed up and blew doors in Florianopolis last year at the Vans Park Series stop. This kid has only got better in the last year as well.
Wow, and that clock is flying. We're down to under 10 seconds to go for Miguel Oliveira.
Yeah, no time for setup tricks. Love that frontside grab disaster.
You know, one thing our judges like is loud skateboarding. When you're slamming your disasters, slamming the tail, you really get their attention.
Wow, flip slide reverse in the deep end.
So smooth.
I think that might have been after time. Judges were probably already looking down, entering their scores when the buzzer goes off.
He's currently sitting at 4th. Now, how much leeway do these skaters have from the judges when time's winding up and they're going up towards the coping?
Yeah, if you're going up the wall on a trick as the run ends, they're definitely still going to count it. But if you're halfway across the park, like it was in this situation,
and that trick right there could be the difference between 4 or 5 points.
Hey, it could be the difference between being in the finals or not. And hopefully if Miguel realizes that, he can adjust his run to try and fit it in 30 seconds next time out.
Currently in 4th place, Miguel Oliveira with a 71.43. And I gotta agree with you, Neil. I feel like you have to be in the 80s plus if you want to stand a chance. And of course, all of our skaters so far have ripped, but none of them have really stepped it up to the level that we know we're going to see when Ivan Federico and Kevin Kowalski and Alex Sargente hit the park.
Yeah, you just look at how stacked the last couple heats of the semis are. You got to be on that level.
15 years old, Roman Pavic.
Current leader still with a 77.24. Love that boneless.
And he has got a proper boneless on him.
He's got a proper everything. Great frontside invert. Dip in the backsmith. Look at that fast plant over the hip, squatting it out a little bit.
Here we go.
Yeah, it looked like Roman was losing his speed, but he landed right in the corner. On that spine section, when it goes from the spine to the teardrop, it's a really harsh angle transition. He landed right in the kink.
He landed to dead stop. We'll see if he improved. Bom dia, if you are a Portuguese speaker and you want to listen to some Portuguese, we do have 2 incredible commentators and a Portuguese feed. You can find that on whatever page that you are watching this on, be it Red Bull TV, VansParkSeries.com, or the Vans Park Series app. Our 5th skater in line is Omar Hassan, and I love to see Omar come in on a grind into the deep end. Oh, dips it in with a lip slide.
Wow. Omar's actually been on a trip down here for a week and a half or so with Josh Borden before this contest. Went down to Florianopolis to stay with Pedro and the boys. So he's a little acclimated to Brazil. Beam plant to tail over the spine into the corner. Oh my gosh, his feet completely flapped off on that air to fakie. It's funny because a lot of times Omar does a fast plant to fakie there. Sometimes he does the air to fakie.
Maybe some decision making right
his
there.
His feet were completely off on that air to fakie.
Did get a little bit lucky right there. Yes, he slammed, but it could have been way worse. If your back foot falls off on a fakie air.
Yeah, no pads and a deep end that's that burly. That could be ugly.
So Omar Hassan currently in 5th place. The score comes through at 52.13. So he's still, you know, just figuring out the park. He's been ripping. I've seen him do some, a switch grind to go into that deep end in practice. To see if he goes to that to start off his heat. We are back to the top of the order here in Heat 1. 30-second runs. Top run will count. Michael Dos Santos is in. 30 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, we saw Michael take a big slam onto his wrist last run. Stoked that he was able to make it back in for his 3rd run.
So Dos Passos, I was just about to say Dos Passos has been improving with each run, but I think that last slam definitely potentially rattled him a little bit. He started with a 74.91. He was our guinea pig on the day, which is tough. So Dos Passos now getting checked out one more time. You can see he's grimacing. He's got to be in some pain.
And that's the hand that he was grabbing that frontside air with. So tough situation, skating with a hurt wrist.
I love it as we start to get rolling through these heats. It's just rapid fire skate action. Carl Bergley now back in the park.
Buff Carl's got the shirt off for the ladies. Front 50-50 standing up into 5-0. Big lip slide.
For a kid from Sweden, you'd think he'd get much more sunburnt than he does. I've never seen this kid sunburnt.
Oh, the back foot off on the invert. Couldn't get it back on.
And I think it's a rarity to see Carl slam. He is so consistent.
I love checking out the shapes of the boards these guys are riding. Both Carl and Roman riding for Welcome Skateboards. Got some pretty cool shaped skateboards under them.
Yeah, it's fun to see some unique shapes coming in here to Park Series. And we got a creature fiend coming up, Miguel Oliveira. He's 17 years old from Curitiba, Brazil.
Yeah, we'll see if Miguel can get that lip slide revert in the deep in his run this time.
I thought he was going to try it right there.
Love
saving
that.
it.
Oh, completely over-rotated on the indie air. You saw that could have been way worse also. Instead of coming down straight, he came down just a little bit over-rotated, straight to the butt.
Now, what do you think, Neil, when you have such a good opening run, like 4 of 5 of our skaters did, does that mess with you a little bit when you kind of maybe surprisingly nail your first run?
You can kind of let your guard down a little bit.
That's what it looked like right there.
If you have a couple falls, you're really trying to focus.
Well, this is your current leader, Roman Pavic. He's got a 77.24. His last run is 72.57 with a slam on the end. We'll see what he's got for us now.
Hey, Roman is showing he's still got a couple tricks in his bag that he hasn't even done. Oh, and that fall is going to be costly. To start off with the front feeble and then a kickflip indie, that could have been a run into the mid-80s had he hung on.
Crowd likes it. That was looking like it was going to be a burner for Roman Pavic.
I was really curious to see if Roman was going to try and add some difficulty to his run.
And here he did.
Yeah, even this first trick, the front feeble, kickflip indie.
Love his
Perfect.
front leg. Rocket out. That was a beautiful shot. The production crew is so on it today.
Roman's gonna have one more run to try and put that together, make a full 30 seconds.
There was a group of about 6 young female skate fans just hounding Roman when he first got here today. Love to see that. Roman Pavic, the international flair. Here we go, Omar Hassan. How's he gonna start us off, Neil?
See if he's going for the lip slide roll in again. There it is. Wow, almost hanging up.
That was about 150 tiles he just cleared. So time starts the second your trucks cross over the line of the coping. Whether you roll in, drop in, lip slide in, it always starts when you cross the threshold of the coping.
Omar's always been really good at skating spines. Love the little beam plant to tail. There's the air to fakie that went wrong for him last run. Probably last trick right here. Heel flip frontside air on the hip.
And that is usually an automatic trick for Omar. I did like that he went back to that fakie air after he slammed on it. I always like to see kind of that resilience when skaters attack the trick they had previously slammed on.
It's hard. It's a blow to your confidence to fall in a trick and then try it again your next run.
Right, so Omar Hassan waiting for scores. It's going to be just under what he had on his previous score because he didn't quite get that full 30-second pull, a 49.36. He's currently in 5th place. We're going to go back to the top of the lineup. The crowd going absolutely wild for Michael Dos Passos, who's skating through what looks like a lot of pain. We'll see what Dos Passos has for us now.
He's still in 2nd place. Manual rollout, rolling back in. Got that injured wrist taped up. Tricky frontside air. That is such an impossible spot.
I don't know if I've seen that transfer yet.
Tab over the spine without grabbing.
It looks like he's feeding off the pain.
I love how Vans Park Series pulls these new guys out of the woodwork that we've never seen before.
Low to high. And that's going to be time in his best run yet. Michael Dos Passos. Heavy, heavy slam in his previous 2 runs. And now he's come back firing. And that'll be his 4th and final run, making full use of the park, a full 30-second run. He hit every wall. That impossible deep end to shallow end transfer that I haven't seen anyone do yet. It's going to be a solid score for Passos.
Really curious to see how that compares to Roman Pabic's score. Roman still got a 77.
73.3 line. I think the speed may have kind of affected how high his score could have gone. You see how when he came out of the deep end into that shallow end transfer, he really, it slowed him down a lot. And the judges are real sticklers when it comes to how fast you're whipping around this park. Last chance for Carl Berglund. Will he make the final cut?
Love that high-speed roll-in. Carl's doing it for Vans Europe crew. Thanks to Vans Europe for helping Carl get out here to Brazil. Carl's lip tricks are so long in that deep end.
He's got to keep his speed up. He's got to keep hammering in tricks.
There's the eggplant. Probably 2 more tricks. Back tail. Grabbing the nose, 360, and just fell off as the buzzer goes off.
Oh man, insult to injury. He scratches his glasses, can't pull his final trick. Loved the way that line was looking from Carl Berglund. He always rips so hard in practice. And I think he's a young guy. He's still learning how to put contest runs together. At 69.93, it's enough for 3rd place, but I don't think Carl has that solid of a shot to make our final cut.
He's young. He's still learning tricks.
Yeah, 17.
Yeah, he's every time we see him, he's got new tricks in his bag.
Well, all of this guy's tricks are new to us. He is a kind of a newcomer on the scene, at least Advanced Park Series. Only competed in 1 event last year. Miguel Oliveira. Now he's already got 20 seconds left to go. This clock is flying.
Looked like he decided not to do that in the air that he slammed on last run. Did a body jar in that spot instead.
I like that he kind of just flicked that switch, knowing that he had to get out of the deep end, ride the complete park, going for the kickflip disaster, and he goes down. Miguel Oliveira. Remember this name. We will see much more of Miguel Oliveira from Curitiba, Brazil. He's 17 years old, a Brazilian creature fiend, also representing Vans Brazil. And he's currently in 4th place with a 62.01 on his last score. And like we said before, we're pretty sure you're going to have to be in the 80, 85 range if you want to make this cut. So we're only taking 8 skaters out of 20. Roman Pabic, 15 years old, his last chance. He's currently sitting in 1st place with a 77.24. Will he improve?
Looks like he's trying a different line. I thought he was going to go for that front feeble and then the kickflip indie again. Boneless over the back wall, setting his foot up for the kickflip indie. Oh, the board did not flip fast enough.
It looked like he did, maybe got a little bit lost at the very beginning of that run. You see when guys are pumping 3 or 4 walls back to back to back, to me that says they're getting lost, they're wasting time.
I love Roman's little celebration. He's still in 1st place. That's a big, beefy skateboard to be doing kickflip indies in the Big Bird deep end.
Now keep your eyes on that score for Roman Pabic, 77.24. Will that be enough? Omar Hassan has one final chance. 43 years old, Costa Mesa, California. Our last-minute injury replacement, replacing Kaiki Silva. Omar Hassan has one final shot.
Wow,
even further.
Lip slide roll in.
Yeah, that was an incredibly long lip slide roll in. Coming up switch. He's got 12 seconds to go. He's got to have a big, fast, strong finish if he wants to improve on his score.
Wow. We jokingly call that one the money flip with Omar. The heel flip frontside air. That was his contest go-to trick for years. Back when Omar was...
He made it.
He's like, I'm on, feet are on.
So you got to hand it to Omar Hassan, though. I mean,
dude,
didn't know he was skating until 10 minutes before the contest started.
He's like 15 years older than the next oldest guy in this contest. Omar has been killing it for decades. Props just for even being able to hang with this field.
And you've seen some of the younger skaters in this field actually taking notes from the tricks that Omar Hassan has been doing for many, many years. His final run, a 47.83. So there you had it. Heat number 1. Man, skaters are flying around the Santo Bowl. We've got an incredible field yet to skate. Semifinals, heat number 2 coming up next. Do not go anywhere. Plenty of action to come from Vans at Park Series. Stop number 2. We are live from Serra Negra, Brazil. Welcome back, skate fans. You are watching Vans Park Series stop number 2. We are live from the Santo Bowl in the hills of Sao Paulo, Brazil. Chris Cote here with Neil Hendricks. Neil, give us a quick take on that semifinal number 1.
Roman Pavic put it together. That was awesome skating by Roman. I do wish he would have made that run when he did the front feeble and then the kickflip Indy. Leaves a little bit to be desired for the next stop, but great skating, Roman Pavic.
Let's see what our current number 1 skater is thinking. Roman Pavic is on the deck with Chris Pastris.
Roman, great first run. I got to ask you, buddy, you got a pretty old school trick selection for such a young dude. Where do you get your moves?
Just a lot of old school videos, vert ramp skating, Gonzalez, Ben Rayborn. I don't know, I just watch around a lot.
Yeah, that's cool you called out Gons, because I sent him your clips after Phoenix AM last year. You're killing it. And you got the Insta Slam from the Vans Park Series stop here that went pretty viral. Take us through that slam and what happened.
Well, me, Willie, and Omar dropped in at the same time and all went into the same section. And we kind of just scrambled, and me and Willie went up the teardrop at the same time, and I flipped over him and kind of just landed on the bottom on my back.
Thank goodness, man. That was a close call. And I know this is your first Vans Park Series experience with the World Tour. How do you like the experience so far?
It's awesome. I've been traveling. It's hot. It's nice everywhere. Australia was fun. The beach. Can't wait for the rest.
Who's your favorite person to travel with so far?
Honestly, I love Matt B. He's the best.
Your TM for Vans. Awesome. Well, good luck. We hope we see you in the finals. Back to you guys in the booth. Thanks, Roman.
Thanks, Pastors. Got to give the shouts to the TM. But Matt B is an awesome dude.
He's
right.
talking about Matt Bennett, who's one of the Vans team managers that travels with these guys. Kind of a professional babysitter, making sure these guys get to sleep at a decent hour, get in the van every morning to make it to the contest. So pretty cool that Roman gave shout outs to Matt B. Matt B is also the guy that sends in big boxes of shoes every month, so that's pretty cool.
One of the only skaters in the world to have a grind named after him. Here's a recap from our semifinal heat number 1. What stood out for you in this heat, Pastor? Neil Hendricks.
Yeah, I like that half cab over the spine that Miguel did. Then Roman Pavic. Like we mentioned, young guy with an old soul. Eggplant revert.
Now, when was that trick invented?
You know, that's one that, you know, it's pretty rare. Not really that long ago, but he's kind of got his own spin on it. You know, Bob Burnquist did that trick a while back. We called it the burn twist, but Roman does it a little bit different. Almost invert revert style like Dwayne Peters.
Like it. 77.24 was the score that Roman Pavic dropped. I believe that was on his first run. So he started off strong. He backed it up with a 72.57, but keep your eyes on that 77.24 mark as we head into semifinal number 2. Here's where we start to see, you know, a little bit more of the kind of household name skaters. Willie Lara is going to be coming up. Our last event winner, Tom Shar. So the next heat, you're going to start to see potentially the scores move up into that 80-point range.
Yeah, this heat is looking super stacked. Also the winner of the last stop at Manly Beach, Tom Shar, just getting over the flu bug when he got down here to Brazil.
Well, before we get into Heat 2, let's get to know my pick to win this event. Let's take a look at Murilo Perez.
Advance to the finals out of this pack of 20 here in the semifinals. Serra Negra, Brazil, the second stop.
My name is Murilo Perez and I'm from São Paulo, Brazil. For me, the Vans Park Series is different from all those contests because they are putting together all the best skaters around the world. Raven and Grant are those ones that like all the stars they're gonna like feel and like just make me watch. My favorite stop from the Vans Park Series last year maybe was the Huntington one because it was the one that I skate better. So I want to skate better than I skate the last time. And I think for me, this is the best thing. I always like pushing myself to like to skate better.
That was Murilo Perez. He has been shredding. We'll see him coming up in your next heat. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with semifinals number 2 here at stop number 2 of the Vans Park Series. We're live from Serra Negra, Brazil. Welcome back. If you're watching us on Red Bull TV, we welcome all skate fans from around the world. We are live from the Santo Bowl here in Serra Negra, Sao Paulo, Brazil. Like we said in the intro, we're literally up in the jungles, the mountains of Sao Paulo, about 2.5 hours out of the city.
We are so out there. It's such a cool landscape here. Take a look at this heat. It's stacked.
Absolutely stacked. Murilo Perez from right here in Sao Paulo. Vinicius Gaquino, a.k.a. V. Tom Shar, your winner from stop number 1 on the Vans Park Series 2017. Willie Lara has been ripping in practice. And Robin Bolian, he is a fiery skater from Lyon, France, and man, if he puts things together, he can be an absolute podium threat.
We touched on it a little bit earlier, but Tom Shar got down here Monday and got the gnarliest case of the flu, was in his hotel room, could not even leave for 4 days.
Couldn't get out of bed.
He said this is the first day that he's felt close to 100%, so really curious to see how Tom Shar reacts to a little bit of adversity.
A 75% Tom Shar is still amazing. We will see. We're going to start it off with Murilo Perez from Sao Paulo, Brazil.
This is one of my favorite lines of the event. Look at that, 3 quick bangers to start it off. Stalefish revert. This is one of the sickest starts to a run we've seen all day.
Look at the urgency that he's attacking this park.
Lip slide onto the extension. Big, beefy stalefish. Probably time for one more trick. Tail slide revert. That was an amazing run from Murilo Perez. Fakey front 50-50. Wow.
That's why I picked him. You know, flies around this park.
Really figured out how to pack a ton of tricks into 30 seconds.
Let's talk about that first transfer. He's the only one that seems to have figured out how to dodge that really steep waterfall into the deep end.
He's really the only one that's figured out how to go backwards with speed into the deep end.
You see his deep end skills, stale revert.
It's funny because
insane.
I saw him practicing this line a million times, and instead of that stale revert, he was doing a frontside invert every time. That's the first time I even saw him pull out the stalefish revert.
Well, now the judges have their hands full because they're really reacting to basically the 5 skaters that they've previously seen. They got to adjust the scale with every heat. with every run because, you know, it's all comes down to best one run counting.
Right.
So each run score is that important.
Now that Murillo has a good run, he's thinking about what he can add to that run to up his score. I saw him trying a heel flip frontside air earlier in practice. You saw him do one in that little skater profile piece that we did. I think Murillo's going to try and add the heel flip frontside air next run.
Degree of difficulty with a stalefish revert as opposed to a frontside invert?
Stalefish revert is definitely harder. Just landing backwards like that, really tricky in a round wall. That is so hard. And frontside inverts aren't really that hard of a trick, but Murillo does them really good. So that's a trick where it really depends on how you do them with how the judges score it.
Right, and of course, Murillo Perez will have 3 more opportunities after that. Each skater today in the semifinals will get 4 runs at 30 seconds each. Top 1 run will count. And you do get 30 seconds, but if you fall, your run's over, and you cannot trick the judges. We've seen a few skaters in the past, you know, put their hands down, maybe questionable. The judges know if you fall or not.
Yeah, quick shout out the guys we got in the judges booth right now: Jason Rothmeyer, Leo Caquinho from here in Brazil, and Kyle Berard. 3 skate rippers that are really experienced in the judging booth as well.
Pastris is down on the deck. How's it feeling down there on the deck, Pastris?
Oh, it's feeling great, guys. It's hot, sunny. I'm soaking it all in. Everyone's ripping. Our top challenger, or Park Series Select Pro, Alex Sorgente, who was last year's champion in Malmo, tweaked his ankle just messing around on this fun box you see here. So he had to go to medical, get it taped up, get it massaged a bit. But he said he's feeling ready for the contest. Took a gnarly slam on that face wall on a nose grind, but Alex Sorgente is made of steel. Said he's feeling ready, and this next heat is action-packed. Expect to see explosions from Tom Shar. Back to you guys.
We are ready for it. The score now has dropped for Murillo Perez, an 82. So just like we expected, scores going up in the 80s, and 82.45 for his first run, Neil.
Yeah.
Now what does he do? Does he save it up for the finals? Because he's looking
No
with an
way.
82.45. Does he have to try to improve?
That, you know, when you look at the last couple heats, that is not completely safe. He's going to try and add a couple more harder tricks to that run. I think he's going to try the heel flip frontside air. Probably, I think he's got a few other options to throw in there.
Vinicius Caquinho, he is a favorite among the skateboarders as well as the crowd. They call him V. He's a cannonball when he drops into this park. He's got 30 seconds on the clock.
V comes from such a rad skate family. Oh, he was going for the stand-up nose grind, kind of slid into nose blunt position. But I was going to say his dad, Leo, longtime pro skater down here in Brazil. Now he's designing and building a lot of the skate parks down in Floripa.
So like I had mentioned earlier, 5 of our 20 skaters today are from Florianopolis. Vinicius Caquinho is one of them. He's 19 years old, qualified 13th. He got a solid 8th place in qualifying in Manly Beach. So, you know, again, it takes a while to learn contest IQ. You know, Pedro Barros is a guy that he travels with. He's definitely soaking that in. So here we have the winner of our stop number 1, Tom Shar, who's basically coming in off his deathbed. 4 days with the flu. We'll see what Tom Shar's got for us.
Yeah, Tom said he's close to 100% today. The only difference is he just wasn't able to get as much practice in this park as all the other guys. So he was still trying to figure out the tricky lines just this morning before the semifinals.
That was an overhead sailfish for Tom Shar. He's looking like about 108%. Not the 75% that he told us earlier.
Wow, looked like board got away from him on that backside grab 540, but that was a solid 29 seconds of skateboarding.
High flying, usually super consistent. That was a stale of beauty.
Knee completely on the board, tweaking out that stale fish.
So Caquinho's score comes through a 30.68. Tom Shar, healthy, 78.99. That's enough to get him in 2nd place. So already from semifinal number 2, we've got leaderboard change-ups with Murillo Perez in the lead, Tom Shar in 2nd.
Yeah, so I think if he makes that last trick, it's in the 80s easy.
From Moore Park, California, Willie Lara, super stylish, 19 years old. He's about as smooth as a skater as you're likely to see on the planet.
Willie Lars already had a great 2017. He won the big video contest that the Barracks did, the in transition, Indy disaster in the deep.
How was the stylish little hand drag as he went into the deep end?
Yeah,
Love it.
I was actually just going to point that out. It's the little things that makes Willie look so good on his skateboard. Wow, 360 rock and roll, grabbing the nose.
And he's skating quietly and smoothly until he goes into those disaster tricks, and then he slams him down, getting the judges' attention. Didn't get a full 30-second run, but I'm liking what I'm seeing from Willie Lara for the start of this run.
Look at that huge
There it
carve,
That's so
dragging
cool.
the hand. Yeah, it just looks cool. That's kind of surfy style in your world, Cote.
Yeah, he's petting the cat. So Willie Lara score's going to come through as 68.51. It's enough for 7th place. He leaves a lot of room for improvement. We will see Willie Lara with 3 more runs here in Vans Park Series. Stop number 2. We're live from Serra Negra, and the fact that we can actually even just be live from here, and we are in the cut. We're in the mountains of Brazil and Sao Paulo. This is incredible. Robin Bollian all the way from Lyon, France,
Robin's
18 years old.
Another skater that's kind of just getting over an injury. He was over in Southern California for the last month or so, practicing on all the Southern California parks for this contest, and he rolled his ankle as well a couple weeks ago. Wow, look at that frontside air transfer into the deep.
Wow, that was a cool line right there. Uh-oh,
Taking
push.
a push in the shallow end.
What happens when you push, Neil?
Hey, he was able to keep his speed.
Just kind of sours it for the judges, doesn't it?
Couple really unique lines for Robin. Big cradle to tail, taking the foot off. That was a rad run for Robin Bollian. It was cool to see how he had a couple really unique lines in and out of the deep end. To do that back Smith out of the deep onto the hip.
It's a huge air. Shallow to deep. Robin Bollian, he qualified 8th place yesterday. We saw Robin with some podium finishes last year.
Yeah,
he did really well in Vancouver.
I feel like Vancouver was Robin and Yvonne Federico's kind of coming out party on the Vans Park Series.
But Robin Bollian now with an 80.70, rockets himself up to 2nd place with the push, so he does have that space to improve as well. Murillo Perez now back to the top of the order. Time will start when he crosses the coping.
Looked like Murillo was going for the nose manual to start off on the curved extension. Wow, back Smith, the tail slide.
Oh, that's a bummer. He pulled that thing 1,000 times in practice.
Luckily, Murillo's still got a 82.45 on the board from his first run.
Still on top of the leaderboard, Murillo Perez. Right there, he's kind of just trying to figure out what went wrong. His 2nd scoring run, a 35. Definitely a throwaway run for our current leader. And now, 2nd in the order, Vinicius Caquino, 19 years old from Florianopolis, Brazil. Comes in hot.
V needs a solid score. Currently at the bottom of the leaderboard in 10th place. There's the nose grind that he fell on first run. That was perfect.
That's insane. He's kind of got a Peter Hewitt vibe to him, doesn't he?
Yeah, I love how he just popped in off the coping. Smith grind revert, keeping his speed. Wow, Fakey nose pick coming in to Fakey.
Stay on, 4 more seconds.
It's kind of a backside chink, we call it.
And that's going to be time for Vinicius Caquino.
Wow, back Smith revert attempt, landing on his board.
Ride.
That was a rad run for Caquino.
I mean, 4 bangers in a row. Incredibly difficult tricks.
And that nose grind is just go for broke. That's about as fully committed as you can be. Standing up completely on top, nollie in, you see his front foot getting a little light.
That was insanity. That was the best nose grind that I've seen of this.
In slow motion how harsh that waterfall is. That waterfall is about a 4-foot drop, and it is really, really steep. You'll see these guys They're always trying to not really go straight up it, kind of go to the side, carve a little bit just to suck it up and keep their speed.
It's almost more like a loading dock than a waterfall, isn't it?
I've seen a couple guys go down it and just completely catch air. It's so steep, they just skipped it.
Kakino doubles and more his score with a 75.27. That puts Vinicius Kakino from Florianópolis, Brazil up into 5th place. Tom Schaar now currently sitting in 3rd with a 78.99. Will he improve?
It's all going to come down to making that 540 at the end of his run, it looks like. Smith grind into the deep, standing it up. Love that floaty frontside ollie.
So lofty.
Putting the front feeble, tricky lines to get out of the deep end. Back down, there's that stalefish that we love,
I could
tucking
watch
the
that
knee.
all day.
Last trick, this is where he fell last run. Melon grab on the 5. Perfect, leaning back a little bit.
A
Front
deafening
disaster
roar from the
reaver.
crowd.
We will see if that bumps him past
Wow.
Murillo.
What do you think?
That's going to be solid.
You got
up in
what's the
80s
over
for
under?
sure. I think that probably bumps past Murillo just a little bit. I'm
right.
saying 83 for Tom Schaar's run.
Well, currently sitting in 3rd place, Tom Schaar started with a 78.99. Here's that 540.
Looked like he landed a little bit backseat with his weight over his back foot.
Wow, it comes through. 85.26. Judges loving it. You have a new leader, folks. It is Tom Schaar.
That is looking good for the finals. Knuckles from Omar Hassan.
So what was it? Was it purely the strength of the back 5, or was there more to that run?
Nah, that whole run was pretty dialed.
Willie Lara now from Moorpark, California, starts off the backside ollie over that spine section.
Willie starting this run a little different. Front nose blunt on the back wall, pumping for speed, going front side.
Again, give us a little petting of the cat as he goes through that corner.
Stylish tail slide. Love that little scoopy alley-oop body jar.
Whoa.
Kickflip Indy.
Lightning fast.
This big deep end opening up for some vert tricks from these guys. Little nose grab disaster over the spine. Amazing 30 seconds for Willie Lara. That was solid.
That was a run that just gained momentum. Through the 30 seconds, Willie's stoked. Crew on the deck, giving him the pounds.
Yeah, I did not see that one coming. Tucking the knee for
The
style.
flip was so fast.
I love that these guys all ride such loose trucks now. With that slow-mo, you can even
See 'em
see
wiggling, huh?
their trucks just rattling.
So Willie Lara, score comes through in 80.99. That's enough to get him in 3rd place. A potential score that will keep him within that cut. Again, we're going from 20 skaters to 8 skaters to make the final today here in Serra Negra.
Remember when Roman Pavic was leading a couple minutes ago? He's in 5th.
Wow. Well, we knew that what was going to happen as we get deeper into the field here. 25 seconds on the clock for Robin Bolian.
Indy air transfer with speed into the deep end, standing up out of the Smith grind. Love that tail grab nose bonk to get out of the deep. Sugarcane up the extension. Couple really unique lines for Robin Bolian. Probably got time for one more trick. Slob into the deep end and front Smith out. That is really unique use of the park by Robin Bolian. 540 over the teardrop hip. I would love to see that in his run.
Now, Neil, how much harder is it to do Smith grinds and transitions around those corners as we see these guys going in and out of the deep end?
It's super hard because you're going up a giant transition and coming down something much tighter, and it's a little bit off camber also.
It's a real speed suck, isn't it?
A lot of those lines are really tricky.
Well, a lot of skaters, too, they tend to lock into the coping, and when the coping bends away from you like that, you have to pop off, and Robin Bolian did it about 4 times in that last run. The judges appreciate it, just not as much as his first run. A 78.02 for Robin Bolian. It's enough to get him in 4th place, but he's sitting on that 80.70. And now we're going to go back to the top of the lineup with Murillo Perez. He's coming in flying. We'll see if the time starts with this. No, it doesn't start with his first trick. It starts right now.
Rolling into the
Smith
speedy
grind.
Smith grind. Murillo is so good at these speed lines. Oh, the backsmith to tail. He missed his line right here. He's gonna try and salvage it. Front blunt on the back wall. This run, unfortunately, is gonna be a bit of a throwaway. Not gonna match Murillo's first run. Well, maybe it will. Heel flip frontside air. Kind of salvaged it there at the end.
Man, he dug deep right there to finish strong.
I think I spoke too soon. He got totally lost, missed the run that he was trying.
I was 100% with you there. I thought he almost looked, body language told me that he was kind of finished. But it's not over till the 30 seconds.
Look at that, heel flip frontside air.
It was just so perfect. Wow, now the judges have to put that whole run together in one package.
Yeah, that just shows if Murillo can clean that up a little bit, he can be well into the mid-80s.
You're absolutely right, because that score comes through a 79.57, so not quite into the 80s. His first run is going to be the score that stands, an 82.45. Currently in second place, Murillo Perez. Coming up next from Florianopolis, Brazil, Vinicius Caquino.
This kid is so fun to watch. I would love to see that backsmith revert. That's so funny. Same trick as Murillo, the backsmith to tail slide.
See confidence being built with V right now as he's halfway through his run.
He's just a little powerhouse. Lip slide, Smith grind revert through the corner.
Haven't seen that yet.
Probably last trick right here on the face wall. Backsmith.
So dipped, so proper.
He wants to do that to revert. There it is. That is the V Caquino trademark.
Crowd going nuts.
That trick is so committed. You can take such a monster slam on that backsmith revert.
I was holding my breath.
V can do that on anything. I've seen him do it on the tightest corners, big giant vert walls.
Now when the judges see you reverting out of tricks that often, it never gets old for them, right?
But even gnarlier is backside revert. It's one thing to do frontside, like where he did the lip slide Smith grind revert.
It's like power sliding out of a trick almost.
It's not as dangerous when you're reverting frontside. When you're going backside, you're doing a back tail revert, back lip revert, or back Smith revert. It is way riskier.
Well, Vinicius Caquino's last score comes through a 79.89. He's in fifth place. Here goes Tom Shar, your current leader.
See if Tom has a couple tricks to add. Looked like his feet got a little light on the backside ollie. Wasn't able to hang on. Once again, Tom is still trying to figure this park out. He was stuck in his hotel room with the flu for 4 days when he got down here to Brazil.
I'm glad he stuck it out. I'm sure there was a point when you're that sick and feeling that bad that you just want to go home. You want to pull the ripcord.
He was really close to just going home. We also are really glad that Tom stuck around. Looks like he's feeling a million times better.
Well, there you see a 75% Tom Shar is pretty much 100% dependable as far as the consistency goes. Here goes Willie Lara. This is his third run.
Willie's currently in third place. Not quite safe yet for that finals position. In the air, back disaster. He's got the stylish sailfish to tail. Wow, shifty ollie over the spine. I would love to see that one.
So Willie does not get the opportunity to make full use of his 30-second run. Tom Shar as well, 17.97.
One of the things I really like about Willie is all of his runs have been completely different lines. Every time he's rolled in, just completely different way to start his run.
Yeah, and I think, even though it is top one run counts, the judges appreciate the creativity. If you show them something they haven't seen before, they're going to take notice. So Willie Lara's score comes through at 50.77. That is not going to be a score of consequence. Willie Lara sitting in third place with the 80.99 from Lyon, France, Robin Bollian.
Yeah,
Robin.
Look
at his consistency, 80.7 and a 78.02.
Robin has had two great runs to start it off. Starting off with the back 5-0, cross the back wall, love seat. Really lengthy Smith grind in the deep end.
Seems like the first two tricks these guys are doing really sets the tone for their run. With only 30 seconds, you really have to start strong and fast.
That is a tricky way to air the teardrop. Robin's really got some unique lines in this park that no one else is doing. Slaw plant on the teardrop.
Again, showing us new tricks with each run.
I think the thing with Robin is he's going to have to replace a couple of those 5-0 grinds and 50-50s to be up in the mid-80s where Murillo and Tom are. They're still, with runs that short, you can't afford to do 2 or 3 50-50s.
And I've heard in many events past, the judges saying, well, here's why. He started so strong, he did this, but then he just kind of finished with 5-0 grinds and 50-50 grinds. They don't like to see that.
Yeah, even just the 50-50 through that corner, the difference between if you do a back lip slide through that corner, that would be 2 or 3 points right there. That could be the difference between making the finals or not.
Well, and look at the spread we have here, points-wise. It is still super tight. Robin Bullion's last score comes through. Not quite yet, so we're waiting for that score to come. As it stands now, Tom Shar just continuing on his path of destruction through Vans Park Series 2017, sitting on a solid 85.26. Bullion's last score, 74.91. We're back to the top. Murillo Perez, his last chance here to qualify to the finals.
This is the line that we love. Straight into the 5-0 to fakie, backwards into the deep end. 3 quick hits. There's the, monster slam. Complete lockup on the frontside invert. You know what went wrong there? He missed the plant on his hand. Instead of getting on the coping, it looked like his hand was just a little bit under on the vert, and he completely hung up. We call that a hang up when your back truck just clips the coping.
It's a harsh finish. Our medical staff was right on it.
When you skate vert ramps or big bowls, that is like the ultimate worst nightmare. It's just hanging up your back truck.
So folks, we do always on the Vans Park Series have the best medical staff in the land wherever we are in the world. We see Murillo Perez walking it off. Thumbs up to the crowd. We'll keep our eye on Murillo. Right now he's looking like a potential safe score of an 82.45 towards advancement into that top 8. So we got another savage cut as usual here on the Vans Park Series, stop number 2. Of course, Murillo Perez wants to get the points needed to qualify for the World Championships coming on later this year. He's got a lot of work to do until then. Vinicius Caquino, 30 seconds. He's got to react from seeing his homie taking a heavy slam.
That's a tough situation. These guys travel the world together. You see your buddy take a monster slam, has to get helped out of the deep end, and you're still going for it in the exact same spot.
You saw right there the waterfall entry. He basically didn't, his wheels didn't even touch the waterfall.
Yeah, full hovercraft just floated down the waterfall full speed.
Not the way Vinicius Caquino wanted to finish, but he does have a pretty solid 79.89.
Yeah,
I feel like that's going to be right on the edge.
He's in 5th place. When you look at Heat 3 and 4, I don't think V has a chance of making the finals.
Pretty good skaters to come.
Yeah, we got 10 more guys stacked Heat 3 and 4.
Here's your current leader. He's got to be feeling good about his previous high score of an 85.26. Here goes Tom Shar.
Tom has a completely different strategy than the rest of these guys. I think Tom is still figuring this park out. I think he's still trying to put together his combinations. Like we said, he was in bed with the flu. He hasn't had near the practice time that these guys have had. He's doing some of these tricks for the first time on his Brazil visit. Alley-oop frontside air.
Never seen that either. And he has the luxury of just being able to test things out a little bit, because I feel like an 85 is going to be one of those scores that is solid for that top 8.
He's about 3 points ahead of 2nd place Murillo Perez. Tom Shar is probably the only guy that I would say is really safe to make the 8 cut.
Wow, so there you have Tom Shar's final run at 70.73. Still a strong score given that he didn't even finish that 32nd run. Willie Lara's last chance now.
How rad is that? Just speedy backside ollie into the deep end, and then a backside ollie across the flat wall. Different lines every run. Pumping for speed. Willie Lara has been on fire all day.
He's got to have some of the quickest feet in skateboarding.
He does, and just light. He looks so light on his skateboard. Taking the front foot off on the body jar, tucking the knee on the stylish eggplant. Oh, and he got caught in the deep end, slid out on the waterfall. We call that the waterfall, where it goes from shallow to deep. and this one has a really harsh, steep one, and you cannot go sideways across it like Willie Lara tried to.
Yeah, we keep talking about kind of the sketch factor and going into that waterfall, but as Willie showed right there, coming out of it can be equally disastrous. So Willie Lara goes down, but he walks out of the park. He's looking pretty spry. He's in third place at 80.99. Relatively safe, still right on that edge. Here goes Robin Bolian's last chance to qualify for the finals.
Hey, Robin Bolian has been one of the standouts for me in this heat. That's the first time he's had an early fall in this contest, but he had some really unique, different lines. That was really fun to watch.
So Robin Bolian was your last skater of the semifinal heat number 2, currently sitting in 4th place. And man, you think of the difference between Willie Lara's 80.99 and Robin Bolian's 80.70, and just that small of a gap could mean the difference between making that top 8 cut. We're gonna take a quick break. We'll be back. More action. We are live from Serra Negra, Brazil. This is stop number 2 of the Vans Park Series. We're back live from Santo Bowl here in Serra Negra, Brazil. This is stop number 2 on the Vans Park Series 2017. An incredible lineup of skaters yet to come in our 3rd and 4th heats here in the semifinals. We've got 20 skaters to start. We're gonna cut to 8, and this guy's gotta be feeling relatively safe with the highest score yet. Talking about Tom Shaw, who's on the deck with Chris Pastors.
So Tom, you were practically on your deathbed on Monday. You look pretty good out there, man. How you feeling now?
I'm better. I was just, I had the flu, and I'm still pretty tired and everything, but I feel a lot better now.
Did you get in enough practice with being sick all week?
Yeah, I came here just pretty early and just kept skating like a bunch, and I don't know, I think I got enough in.
I think you got enough in, and you said you had to make some adjustments with the 30 seconds. Tell us about your line into that 540.
Yeah, 30 seconds is pretty short. I didn't realize how long my run was, and then I was like halfway done. They're like, oh, 10 seconds left. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. And I just try and like improvise, or I don't know, just try and cut it.
I think you did a pretty darn good job. Was that your first 540 you landed in your run?
Yeah, that was the first one I made, and yeah, I only tried a couple, and I just kind of had to try one just to get out of the way.
You made it when it counts, Tom. I think we'll see you in the finals. Back to you guys upstairs.
And in eyebrow news, Tom Shar's eyebrow has grown back from a shaving incident that he had in Australia.
That is someone with contest experience. That kid has been skating contests for years. He's, been a big air star at the X Games and all those big events. So that shows that Tom was able to adjust his run, get that 540 in within the 30 seconds.
Here's a look at your heat recap from semifinals heat number 2. This is how Tom Shar got the lead.
Love that boosty backside ollie and the stylish tailfish in the deep end. Fully back seat.
I love that he just kind of has that 540 in his back pocket. He can just unleash it at any time.
What a treat that is.
Willie Lara is currently in 3rd place. And I think right now, Willie Lara and Robin Bolian, they're in the hot seat when it comes to qualifying again. We're only taking 8 of the 20 skaters we have here in the semifinals. And it's going to be a harsh cut when you're looking at the skate lineup we have to come here in Heat 3 and Heat 4. Some of the favorites are coming up in this Tom Shar 85.26. Keep your eye on that score and keep your eyeballs right here at that 4th and 5th place area. 80.70 at 79.89. That's going to be where things are going to get a little sketchy. All the way even into that 3rd place zone with Willie Lara.
Those guys are going to be sweating it out for the next couple heats, watching their buddies try and take them out and bump them out of the finals. Check out who we got for heat number 3.
Semifinals, heat number 3. Another skater from Florianopolis, Brazil. Heracles Fagundes. Chris Russell from Hermosa Beach, a Vans Park Series favorite always. Tristan Rennie, Josh Borden, and CJ Collins. We've got our youngest skater in the field, CJ Collins from Anaheim, California. He is a practice killer. We'll see if he can put it together in a 30-second run.
I think 30 seconds really helps CJ. We saw it the last event in Manly when it was 45 seconds. CJ really struggled to keep his speed for that whole 45 seconds. I think this format change is really going to help CJ.
And don't forget, skate fans, coming up in Heat 4, Ivan Federico, Kowalski, Sargente, Pedro Barros, Corey Chino. That's probably the most stacked heat we've seen of the year. It's going to be insanity. Remember, though, these guys aren't skating against each other in their heats. They're skating against everybody. Your
Top
one run
8
counts.
Top 8 overall from all these semifinal heats advances onto the final round.
And you can see, though, that you really do draw from the competition in your heat. Even though you're not going head-to-head with them, you're drawing from the energy that they're skating with, as we saw in semifinal heat number 2. Now, Heracles Fagundes, we saw him last year, and I know, Neil, you've watched this kid skate growing up. What can we expect from Heracles?
We saw last year he had one of the heaviest slams on the whole Vans Park Series tour in Huntington Beach. He did a sailfish disaster and broke his board and went down hard. Look at that front feeble through the corner. I actually saw Heracles right before this heat. Ran down to grab a water and just said good luck to Heracles, and he looked really, really nervous. He knows this is a good opportunity to compete with the best in the world. You saw the nerves get the best of him right there with that frontside ollie getting away from him.
Representing Santa Cruz and Vans Brazil, Heracles Fagundes, 20 years old, and he's one of the 5 of 20 skaters we have from Florianopolis, Brazil. And they made the trek, it's about a 2-hour flight from Florianopolis to here in Serra Negra?
Couple-hour flight from Florianopolis.
So Heracles Fagundes, his first run comes through a 62.18. He's got some room to grow. Now Chris Russell, he had a harsh start in Australia, but he looks like he's getting back to the Chris Russell we know and love. He's got 30 seconds.
Yeah, Chris Russell getting off a big broken leg injury a few months ago. Wow, board slide to fakie all the way through the deep end. But Chris has looked a lot more confident at this event than he did down in Manly last month. Such a gnarly, powerful style, slapping disaster on that frontside nose bone.
That is classic Chris Russell skateboarding right there.
It is just freight train about to run off the tracks. Front side grind reaver into the deep end. That last trick was just a fakey lip slide into the deep, and it was probably the sketchiest thing he did his whole run.
Now when you see him jump out of the park and go into that power stance, walking on the deck, you know something good's just happened. That's why we call him Chris the Muscle Russell. An incredible starting run here in semifinals heat 3.
Full truck lockup on the frontside air disaster.
His last trick was so scary from beginning to end. And he is that guy that throws everything on every trick he does. It's 110% or destruction. 80.04 to start for Chris Russell. It's enough to get him in 5th place. That bumps Vinicius Caquino down to 6th. So Chris Russell now with an 80.
That's another guy right in that area with Willie and Robin Bolian in the 80s.
From Rialto, California, Tristan Rennie has looked amazing in our practice over the past couple days. Here we go, Tristan Rennie.
Blunt slide transfer over the love seat. Indy disaster in the deep end. What a way to start for Tristan Rennie.
This kid just gets better and better with each and every event.
Tristan was actually our first place qualifier in the prelim round yesterday. Nose grab alley-oop out of the deep. Boneless disaster packing this run full of tricks. Saw the front foot come off on the 1-foot ollie off the teardrop.
So he's no stranger to the final day. He did get 9th place overall in Australia. So he's had that taste of success.
Tristan did did you see how many tricks he packed into 30 seconds?
No, I know, Neil, you attributed Tristan's skill to be able to adapt to this to backyard pool skating, correct?
He's a really good backyard pool skater, and parks like this that don't have a lot of flat, you have to think really, really quick, and Tristan has always been good at that.
Tristan now waiting for his score, the previous score from Chris Russell, an 80.04. We'll see what the judges throw out there for Tristan Rennie.
I think this run could be second or third. I think Tristan's going to bump into second or third place because this was just completely packed, banger after banger after banger.
Use of park, speed,
yeah,
flow, going wall to wall, doing different tricks on each and every wall.
We talked
Tristan
about
Rennie.
it a bit with Robin Bolian, where Robin maybe did a couple too many setup tricks. With Tristan Rennie, there were no setup tricks. That was just hard trick, hard trick, hard trick in tricky spots of this park.
And we've seen it play out in the past a lot of times when somebody gets just an incredible high-scoring run on their first run, then they start to loosen up and they kind of feel the vibe coming towards them, so they just get, you know, a guy like Tristan Rennie, he's one of those skaters that can just start to improve with every run he takes. There you see the score come through, an 80.71. Now he goes into fourth place. That knocks Chris Russell to sixth. So Robin Bolian sits in fifth place, and here's where you're going to start to see a condensed kind of 4 through 8 that's going to be a really tight squeeze to make that cut.
Tristan is literally 1/100th of a point ahead of Robin Bolian.
Insanity. Now Josh Borden from Orange, California, 27 years old. Josh absolutely destroyed qualifiers. How can he make the transition from qualifier to final day?
Look at that lean melon to Smith smash to start it off. Josh has had a history of really skating great in the prelims and then not really putting it together in the semifinals. So hopefully Josh can put it together on the big day this time around.
So far so good with just under 8 seconds to go for Josh Borden.
Looks like Josh getting a little bit lost. Miller flip over the spine. Probably one last trick here. And direct. Pretty rad ending for Josh Borden. That was a solid 30 seconds.
Yeah, that was similar to what we saw with Murillo, wasn't it? He started to slow down a little bit towards the end of that run, but then just heated right back up with 2 final bangers. So Josh Borden, just like you said, he has thrashed himself and ripped in many qualifying events, but to be able to take that momentum and make it through this final day, that's going to be the trick for Josh Borden.
Yeah, I really like that Miller flip over the spine. You notice how narrow that spine is. You have to be in exactly the right spot to do that trick. 6 inches one way or another, and you're going to bail for sure.
Yeah, you missed that grab too, and I don't even want to know what would happen. So Josh Borden now waiting for the score. And it's a 74.26, so that's going to put him in 10th place. What does he got to do, Neil, to improve that score?
He can definitely clean that run up a little bit. You saw that frontside air in the deep end. His feet were kind of floppy. Had to squat to make the landing. Josh will clean that run up.
Now, CJ Collins has become an absolute favorite, not only to skaters, but to fans around the world. 13 years old. Here goes CJ Collins.
CJ has absolutely been one of the highlights of practice this whole week. Doesn't quite yet have the contest experience. Look at that no complied tail slide. Going deep to shallow over the hip. CJ's putting it together right now. Setting up for the nose blunt on the back wall. I think he's gonna go for a frontside flip right here.
Get it.
Solid frontside flip. CJ Collins puts it together. You know, CJ Collins and Corey Juneau were both doing that frontside flip in the same spot. That's the first time I've ever seen CJ Collins with a little claim victory wave. Yes, CJ.
Pastors, how's that crowd noise for CJ Collins?
Oh, it's awesome, man. The energy down here is intense. And you know, I talked to a bunch of the guys about the length of the runs, and they're having to make adjustments to their lines with the runs being shorter at 30 seconds. We heard from Tom Shar on switching up his line for fitting in the 540. And Corey Juneau said he had to completely change up his line to try to fit in his frontside kickflip. So let's hold our breath and see if Corey can fit in that frontside flip into his line in the next heat.
Well, CJ Collins' score comes through, and it's going to be a 78.62. I think that's his best score in Vans Park Series history for CJ Collins.
Yeah.
And this is his first final day appearance. He qualified 4th to get to the final day today, so he didn't make the cut in Manly, so already improving. Now we're back to the top of the lineup. Heracles Fagundes.
Hopefully Heracles has the contest nerves out of the system for his second run.
78.63 the score to beat.
Speedy back tail to get it kicked off. Front feeble through the corner. You see those really tricky lines to work his way through those corners. Taking it back in the deep end, over the hip with a Smith grind. There's the frontside ollie. He fell on first run, all the way on top on the frontside nose grind. Smith grind to fakie.
Now, I feel like even though it's only just split seconds, when you come from the very shallow end all the way across the flat bottom, passing that spine section into the deep end, that eats your time. That's going to hurt you score-wise.
Look at this, Smith grind to fakie on round wall is so hard. The wall is falling away from you.
I love seeing really mini ramp tricks done in a giant bowl like that. That was insane that he even tried that.
That is a big beefy deep end.
Deefy. That's a word we can use to describe this bowl. So Heracles Fagundes' second score comes through a 74.31. Now we're back to Chris Russell, looking to improve on his previous score of an 80.04.
Good to see Russell. Look at that frontside 50-50. Freight train off the tracks, grinding to revert in the deep end. Oh, the boneless got away from him. But the Chris Russell that we know and love is back.
Yeah, it's great to see. You know, you saw how frustrated he was getting in Australia, and kind of looked like he exercised some of his demons here at practice. He had some of the most incredible practice runs that I've seen anybody take throughout the last couple days. So I'm hoping to see the third and fourth run from Chris Russell up to that level that we expect from him. Tristan Rennie now, 30 seconds on the clock. He drops in, trying to improve on an 80.71.
Little different line. He did a blunt slide in that spot first time. Big frontside nose bone in the deep end. Alley-oop over the hip. Boneless disaster, keeping his speed in the corner. Tricky spot right there to do that 1 foot.
I'm expecting to see Tristan Rennie in the top 3 at one of our stops this year.
Front 5-0 revert. I saw him working on that one in practice.
It's going to be time for Tristan Rennie. What do you think? He's got to be one of our most improved skaters from 2016 to 2017.
That front 5-0 to revert over the love seat could bump his score up from his first run. I actually thought his first run score could have been a little bit higher.
80.71 for his first scoring run. We'll see if the judges, you know, they're just ticking off boxes. Was it more difficult? Was he going faster? Were his airs higher? Were tricks harder? They're taking all of that in consideration.
We've got 4 guys really close just with a score of 80. Tristan Rennie bumps it up, 81.37, third place. Yeah, Tristan.
Well, he's got to be feeling a little bit better towards qualification. He's got to beat, what, 7 guys coming up.
That shows Tristan just changed a couple tricks in his run, and it bumped him up a huge amount.
Josh Borden now, 27 years old from Orange, California, longtime Vans team rider. Now he's at 20 seconds already, his clock.
Josh was always one of the young guys on the Vans team, and now there's really young guys, and Josh is one of the grizzled veterans on the Vans team.
Yeah, he's definitely, his trick selection has definitely rubbed off on some of the guys like CJ Collins, Roman Pavic. They look to Josh Borden to kind of go, oh, invert revert, oh, I want to do that. So it's always cool to see Josh Borden ripping through the park, Santa Cruz rider. And Josh Borden most likely won't improve to 56.80. His first run, a 74.26. He was one of our top qualifiers from yesterday. We'll see if he can kind of figure his run out. 13 years old from Anaheim, California. CJ Collins now has 30 seconds on the clock. I like it. He just went right in.
Yeah, little man had a killer first run. Alley-oop front 50-50. Shout out to Raven Tershi. Since Raven's not here, CJ had to do one of his tricks. Stalefish in the deep end. Here's where CJ suffers a little bit. He's so little, he struggles with keeping his speed.
10 seconds left for CJ Collins. Will he finish with the flip trick variation?
Not this time. Backside ollie over the spine, gets away from him. Looks like he maybe tweaked his neck a little bit. Couldn't see that one from our angle. Look at this, backside boneless, revert, perfect foot position on the coping and on his board. But you saw CJ, the thing that CJ struggles with is just being able to keep his speed for that whole 30 seconds. After he did that air in the deep end, he really struggled to get out of that waterfall with speed.
So CJ Collins' second score comes through, 69.27, still in 8th place. With 30 seconds on the clock, back to the top of the lineup here for semifinal Heat 3, Heracles Fagundes.
I would love to see that front Smith to fakie that Heracles fell on his last run. Oh, the back tail stuck on him.
That's that projecting into the next trick without finishing the current trick that you're working on.
A couple guys have got hung up right there. You saw Josh Borden right before CJ get hung up on that tail grab nose grind. Heracles in that same spot. That coping could be getting a little bit grinded up.
Chris Russell, his last score was 32.79, coming off an 80.04. We'll see if he can get back into the 80s.
Grinding further than anyone through that corner, taking the front foot off on the lean disaster, ollie into the deep end over the tricky hit, completely got lost. I couldn't tell if he was going for a boneless or a frontside air. I don't think he had any idea what he was doing. Ended up doing a butt board out of it. That's what I mentioned. This park, the transitions come up so quick. Everything is so tight. Barely any flat bottom that you just have to think ahead so much. And it looked like Russell got a little bit lost, didn't know where he was going.
I love the start of this run. Had he finished, I feel like this would have bettered that 80.04. That is a score that you cannot feel safe on with Pedro Barras, Ivan Federico coming up in the next heat. You've got to be in the 80-plus range.
Right now, I think Chris in 6th place is not looking good to make that 8 cut.
Tristan Rennie now with 30 seconds on the clock. Tristan currently sitting in 3rd place on the strength of an 81.37 on his last run.
Got a little different run starting off this time.
Love that little speed wiggle he did right there just to get himself back up to speed.
Little speed check, yeah. Love that little floater over the spine. Big Madonna disaster. Taking it back in the deep end for the end of his run, boning out the Indy air.
Somehow I felt like he was lost that whole run, but he made it work.
Yeah.
He didn't know where he was going. He's so consistent.
Yeah, and he's really been doing different runs. He did that in Manly also, where every time he dropped in was a different line with different tricks.
Now, do you think that's just a feeling of safety here in the qualifying rounds with that 81.37? He thinks he may be safe to advance, or is he trying to improve with every run?
I think he was just trying something new. I think he just wanted to try out a different line, see what the judges thought about it.
72.92. Now we go to Josh Borden with 30 seconds on the clock, currently sitting in 12th place.
Yeah, Josh needs a solid run. Like you said, in 12th, back lip, feet all up on the nose on the landing. There's the frontside air. Backside air disaster. There's the tail grab nose grind. Made it this time. It's the trick he fell on his second run, and then fell on the little disaster up the extension. Are you kidding me?
I was just about to say, finish strong, Josh.
That was probably the easiest trick he did in his whole run. He's got to be frustrated.
A heavy start to this run. Some incredible trick combos.
Yeah,
that
Josh
right there being
he had to
insanity.
muscle that one in.
So the score comes through as 64.29 for Josh Borden, still in 12th place. But he has to get something better than a 78. So if he can get himself up into that 80-something range, he'll be looking good to advance. Now CJ Collins currently in 8th place. Crowd favorite already. Everybody loves this kid. Here we go, CJ Collins.
Back 5-0, one of the most stylish skaters in Vans Park Series at only 13 years old. Oh, he's gonna go for the kickflip in. Are you kidding me? That was perfect.
Highly advanced skateboarder right there.
Backside 360 ollie.
Okay.
Wow, fake ollie kickflip. That kickflip in is going to be on all the Vans Park Series highlight reels.
The reaction time right there was crazy.
Yeah, he was kind of tic-tac, and I knew what he was going for because we saw him try a couple in practice. Didn't look like his feet were set up in the right spot, and that was just perfect bolts on that kickflip.
70.56 for CJ Collins on his last run. And it's very telling to me that you said, and I agree with you, he's got one of the best styles of the entire field. He's only 13 years old. How does a 13-year-old have a style like that?
That's what I'm wondering.
30 seconds now on the clock. Last chance for Heracles Fagundes.
We really want to see the Smith grind to fakie in the deep end. Come on, Heracles. Back tail with speed.
All right, he's through the maneuver that took him down last run.
Love that front feeble. That's such a tricky corner to get through. All these transitions come up so quick.
Building momentum.
Back into the deep end. Big frontside ollie.
5 seconds.
Yeah, Smith grind to fakie. Are you kidding me? Wow, that could have put him into the finals.
He had to. He had to. What do you think before that slam? Where does that score going to put him?
Yeah, I think it's really close to all those guys like Willie Lara, Robin Boley, and Chris Russell. Frontside Smith to fakie is so gnarly in this deep end.
Wow, and the score is going to come through a 73.89. Not going to be enough for Heracles Fagundes, but he has now put his name on our list of Brazilian favorites with an insane run. Smith grind revert was one of the best tricks we've seen in this contest.
He's going to have nightmares about that trick that he fell on for months.
30 seconds on the clock. Last chance for Chris Russell. He's in 6th place right now with an 80.04.
Chris Russell needs a score. This is a guy that won 2 stops last year on Vans Park Series. Right now, he's in 6th place. Probably not going to advance when you see how stacked heat number 4 is. He's got to up this score.
10 seconds left. Stay on your board, Chris.
Wow, tricky spot to ollie over the hip. Maybe a little bit lost. He's only going to have 1 or 2 more tricks. Back D revert. Is that going to be enough? Switch, rock and roll, sketching out. That's going to be close.
Do you think that was his best run? Thinking back onto the 80.04, was that a better run?
I love that front 50-50 across the back wall, all the way down the escalator through the corner. No one else is grinding this park as far as Chris Russell is.
And just judging by what he was kind of looking like as he rolled out, I don't think he knows. You know, sometimes you can see a guy when he comes out, he's confident he's got the score. Look right there, he doesn't know.
It seems like the judges are really rewarding the guys that are keeping their speed the whole 30 seconds. 76.06, still in 6th place. Wasn't able to match that 80.04 he had in run 1.
He probably just got, a tiny bit lost in that run. Couldn't get the tricks he wanted to at the final end. Tristan Rennie, we got Pastris on the deck. What's going on, Pastris?
What's up, fellas? Yeah, I'm here by the bowl, and man, let me tell you, when the Brazilian locals drop in, this crowd just erupts. You can feel the energy during Heracles' runs, Murillo Perez. I expect the guys to just go completely bonkers for Pedro. So the energy down here is palpable. It's awesome.
We can feel it. And right now, Tristan Rennie, he is...
Oh, jumping off right at the end.
Speechless for a second. He just kept hammering down tricks.
Tristan Rennie has shown that he can hang with the best park skaters in the world. I think Tristan's just going to need a couple more big tricks to really be a podium contender at every stop.
Even the transfer tricks, that backside ollie, that was perfection.
Yeah, super stylish. And I love just that alley-oop nose grab over the hip. That last run, he actually grabbed the tail. No one else is doing that line out of the deep end.
76.71, and I love when you see a skater put together 4 solid runs like that. It shows the consistency with Tristan Rennie. And we go back to Josh Borden, who's currently in 12th place. He needs something in the 80s range to feel safe to advance into the finals.
Starting it off with the lean melon to Smith smash, back lip with speed, into the deep end with the frontside tuck knee. Backside air to disaster.
It's really cool to see a big guy with that much loft in his airs.
Is he gonna go for the Miller flip over the spine again? There it is, tricky front 360. Probably last trick right here. Frontside boneless.
And that's gonna be time. Ooh, a layback slash through the corner. Josh Borden just got back from a surf trip to Fiji with Pedro Barras and friends. So maybe he was just thinking of Fiji right there, grinding through that corner with a little layback.
Look, he's Pedro and Andre. Andre is Pedro Barras' father.
Waiting for the score to drop. And could help him a little bit at 75.27. That gets him into 10th place. That's outside of the cut line, and that was his last chance. Did not advance.
That line was really similar to his first run. He changed a couple things in that line. Looks like the judges rewarded him a little bit.
Last chance for the 13-year-old sensation from Anaheim, California. CJ Collins is in.
I thought he was going to try and kick flip in off that wedge.
And again, he just makes it up as he goes along.
Stylish stalefish in the deep end, back tail. That is so tricky to ollie straight over that steep spine.
Now, Roman and CJ are homies, obviously. Do you think there's a bit of a rivalry going on with these two youngsters?
Oh, man, he washed out on the nose blunt. Looked like he jammed his knee right on that pool coping. Luckily, CJ's okay. These kids are too young to be rivals. They'll be rivals
they can
in
be
a
rivals
few
in
years.
their 20s.
Yeah.
Got to give it up. CJ Collins, he's only 13 years old, going up against the world's best park skaters. And here's the best of the best as it stands now. Semifinals, your current top 5. Tom Shaw, Murillo Perez, Tristan Rennie, Willie Lara, Robin Foley, and hanging in there in 5th place. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more action you are not going to want to miss. Semifinals Heat 4, we've got the best of the best coming right up. Stay tuned. Welcome back, skate fans. We are live from the Santo Bowl in Serra Negra in the hills of Sao Paulo, Brazil. This is stop number 2 on the Vans Park Series 2017. Chris Kerr here with Neil Hendricks, and down on the deck with 13-year-old skate sensation CJ Collins is Chris Pastras.
So CJ, I saw you take a gnarly slam there at the end. How you feeling?
Oh, good. Yeah, it didn't hurt, but just gotta get back up, go skate again.
Definitely, and you're our youngest competitor out here. What's it like being out on the deck with guys twice your age?
Oh, it's so sick. It's like I'm so hyped, super appreciated that I'm here. Yeah.
Are you skating with or against any of your favorite skateboarders?
Yeah, I'm skating like Pedro Barros. He's one of my favorites. This place is so sick.
I know you were with us in Manly. You're with us here in Brazil. Are you going to be on the entire Vans Park Series?
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, I'm trying to.
The fans love you. We want to see you at every stop. Great skating, CJ. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Pastras. Is it weird to say one of my favorite skateboarders in the world is only 13 years old?
Yeah, me too. The thing that we've been joking about on the whole Vans Park Series tour this year, that kid is always skateboarding. When we're back at the hotel, when we're around town, he is always on his skateboard.
So as we look back at Heat 3, as we expected, the scores just incrementally increasing as these heats roll on. One of the Park Series favorites, Chris Russell, just not quite there.
Look at that,
to make the
Chris
cut.
Russell in the aggro zone, linebacker style, knocking over cameramen and everyone in his way.
Well, he's sitting in 6th place, so he's still in for now.
Yeah, 6th place is not going to get you in. Wait till you see how stacked Heat 4 is.
Tristan Rene, I mean, I would say last year this would have been a bit of a surprise, but I'm not surprised to see Tristan on one right now.
Yeah, like you said, Tristan's one of the guys that has improved so much from the 2016 Vans Park Series. I think Tristan's going to be a threat for Park Series for years to come.
Here's the results as it stands right now. You go back down to 8th place with CJ Collins, 7th place Vinicius Caquino, Chris Russell in 6th, Robin Bullion in 5th. Now here's where you're going to see this. This is going to be kind of where you want to watch for the cut line. Willie Lar with an 80.99, Tristan Rennie maybe relatively safe, Marilla Perez probably safe, Tom Shaw definitely safe.
The thing you have to remember, we have 5 guys in this last semifinal heat. Every single one of them has been in a ton of Vans Park Series finals.
Well, this next heat is the titans of park skating, including this guy right here, Pedro Barros. And we do have a little piece getting to know Pedro Barros a little bit more. Let's take a look. Pedro Barros.
I'm from Florianópolis, Brazil. I skate all over the RTMF, that's our neighborhood, and just skate with the crew, all the boys. So what usually makes Vans Park Series different is just all the organization, and especially being hosted by Vans, who is really a skateboard company, kind of keeps that true skateboarding feeling alive. Ooh, my favorite to watch. Grant, the way he rides the park is just totally different than everybody else. My favorite event of 2016, I have to say Brazil. It was home, it was in Florianópolis. All my friends, all the family, everybody was putting out so much good energy, and I just think the whole atmosphere in the event was great, so for sure Brazil.
Well, if anybody can feed off the crowd and bring that energy into their skateboarding heart, it's Pedro Barros. Nobody feeds off the energy of a wild crowd like this guy, and I'll tell you what, this crowd is going to go nuts when Pedro drops in.
He has always been so good at just harnessing that energy. We've seen him sometimes in the past overamp, just try and go too big.
No, folks, this is not the finals yet, but it could very well be. Ivan Federico, Kevin Kowalski, Alex Sorgente, Pedro Barros, and Corey Juno. 5 favorites all in one heat.
Corey Juno has gone from a young upstart to now he's one of the guys that everyone is talking about in these practice sessions. Has so many gnarly lines. Just like CJ Collins, he's doing a frontside flip on the flat wall. That could make or break it for Corey Juno.
So a guy who became a household name out of relative obscurity in 2016, winning events, making the top 3 in multiple events, Ivan Federico from Turin, Italy.
He's still got the wacky shirt like he had in Manly.
It's his lucky shirt. It's his lucky shirt.
Yeah, I'll take it. Look at that big judo in the deep end.
So Ivan got 2nd place in Manly, Australia.
What a tricky spot to do a kickflip, backside melon off the hip into the deep end. 50-50 back into the shallow. Tricky air over the teardrop. Nose grab, 360 rock and roll. We call that one the natural disaster. Hat off, no problem. Kickflip, backside air disaster. Ivan Federico is gonna be in the finals.
Wow, I love it. You just threw that out there, and I'm with you there.
Hey, I don't know what the score is gonna be, but that has to be in the top 8.
This guy is a silent assassin. I mean, doesn't talk much, travels basically by himself or with his mom, but he gets into the park and he's doing this in every other wall.
Look at that. It looked like he leans back a little bit, just kind of caught his toes on his board, still was able to keep his line going. That is serious difficulty.
Talk about adapting too. We watched Ivan in the first couple days of practice thinking, oh, I don't know if he's going to be able to adapt to this park. He's kind of sketching out, but there you see the adaptation in full effect. 86.49, Ivan Federico, where we expect him to be on top of the leaderboard.
I told you he's going to the finals, and that's just the beginning of heat number 4 in the semis.
All right, Kevin Kowalski, super consistent performer last year in the Vans Park Series. We'll see if he can start to put it together here in 2017.
Back 5-0 to start it off. Into the deep end with a Madonna. Got a little loose foot on that one. Front blunt on the back wall. Changing direction, taking it into the shallow. Ollieing up into the front pivot.
Of course, we know Kevin Kowalski is the transfer master. You think he's eyeing anything up special for us here?
Yeah, it looked like he got a little bit lost right there, just trying to hang on. Not the first run that Kevin Kowalski wanted. I think he just lost his line and got a little bit lost. He's gonna want to clean the end of that run up a little bit. Yeah, this park is a little bit smaller than what we're used to in Vans Park Series, just footprint-wise. I haven't really seen a special Kowalski transfer that he might be eyeing up.
Now, Kowalski, of course, excels in backyard pools, but he's been skating the most perfect skate parks on the planet up in Portland, Oregon. So there has to be a little bit of a transition when you're skating perfect giant parks that you're really familiar with to come down and skate a brand new park you've never even seen that does have idiosyncrasies. I mean, this is a perfect skate park as well, but there are glitches compared to what he usually skates.
He is so good at adapting, though.
All right, Mr. Consistency, Alex Sorgente, skating with a rolled ankle. We'll see if it affects his run.
Yeah, Alex was dominating practice the last couple days, but rolled his ankle really bad right before the contest. He's got a freshly taped ankle. He's not even sure what he can do with this tape job on his ankle. Looks perfect, goes down on the half cab to Smith over the spine.
I mean, from the looks of it, yeah, and I don't know how he's feeling, but from the looks of it, the ankle's not affecting his run.
Yeah, it looked fine. It's his front ankle, and he was really able to stand up on that nose grind, so Alex is looking okay. Unfortunate fall there right on the spine.
So his score comes through at 72.78, so a high score with really only skating for 20 of his 30 seconds.
Yeah, that was a great start to his run. That alley-oop front 50-50 just locked on.
All right, skate fans, prepare to get hyped. From Florianópolis, Brazil, 22 years old, one of the winningest skateboarders in park history, Pedro Barros.
Wow, did you see? He almost caught air out of the deep end, just flying up the waterfall with speed. Lofty backside ollie, further than anyone.
Now, you would mention over-psyching. I think the first part of that run was a perfect example of maybe of a little bit of over-froth from Pedro Barros.
Ollie disaster on the back wall. These runs go so quick. You got to pack it full of tricks. Wow, back tail.
Yes.
Little jump ramp air out of the deep end.
The standard finish, chest out, ready for battle. Pedro Barros definitely not showing us what he's capable of as far as multiple
tricks. He made his
tricks.
full run, but that wasn't necessarily the run that Pedro wanted. I think a couple of these tricks, he maybe missed his line just a little bit, had to kind of change it up to salvage that run. But still staying on your board for the whole 30 seconds is going to give you confidence. But 9th place right now, that's not going to advance to the finals.
Did you hear the wind and the air get sucked out of the crowd when the score was announced? And I agree with the judges, 79.02. Got to pack in more tricks. You can't come in so hot. You've got to just be a little bit more condensed in your run. Corey Juneau now skating out of San Diego, California.
Watch this run. Stylish back tail, big frontside nose bone. He's been practicing this line. Oh, wasn't the line I was expecting. Front blunt on the back wall. Here's the frontside flip that Corey's gonna live or die on. Gets away from him.
I know the run you're talking about, and he'd been using this spine area for a frontside grind over and then a back Smith, I believe, back the other way.
Corey has all of his tricks so dialed and so consistent, but that giant frontside flip, like waist high on that wall, is gonna make it or break it for Corey. He needs that trick, because he makes that whole run with that trick, he's on the podium.
Ivan Federico, your new leader here in the semifinals. We'll see if he can...
Hey, I like that style. He's got a run in the bag, so he's just going for broke. I never see Ivan do a big boneless like that, but he can kind of hang it out a little bit now.
Well, he's already aced the test. He's just going to continue studying for the finals.
Yeah, he's the one guy in this heat that is going to be in the final round for sure.
Kevin Kowalski now. We'll see if Kevin can react from kind of a confusing first run. 30 seconds on the clock for Kowalski.
Wow, hurricane grind is so hard. That wall is a bank. It's transition at the bottom and then banked on the top, right there where Kevin fell on. That is so hard to do a hurricane grind on.
The good news for Kowalski and the Kowalski fan club is He's got 2 more opportunities, and only the best one run counts. So each skater gets 4 attempts at their run. You only got to make 1 run. You can bail on 3 runs in a row, and if your final run is the one, you can still make the finals. Here goes Alex Sorgente.
We saw Sorgente had a great start to his run, and then an early fall. See if he can make it the full 30 seconds. That frontside nose grind looks so great. Smith grind into the deep end. Really unique use of the park, taking it to fakie out of the deep end. There's the trick on the spine. He fell on his first run.
8 seconds.
Super solid right now.
And he feels so comfortable in shallow, deep.
And he had a fall right at the end. Couldn't tell if he was going for a front feeble. That is really going to be tricky for the judges because there was literally 1 second on the clock.
I'm almost thinking it was enough even before the fall.
But when you see all those guys right around the 81, 82, 80 range, it's going to be so close to make that 8-man final.
So Sorgente's first run, a 72.78, waiting for that second run score to come through. He was on a good one through about 25 seconds.
I'm telling you, just that fall with 1 second to go could be the difference between 4 or 5 points.
80.92. 80.92 for Alex Sorgente. That puts him in 6th place. Safer, but definitely not safe.
Yeah, so another guy that's got an 80. Willie Lara's got an 80.99. Then Sorgente, then Robin Bolian with an 80.70.
Well, that knocked Chris Russell down to 8th place. So it's looking sketchy right now for Chris Russell. Here goes Pedro Barros from Florianopolis, Brazil.
Yeah, how does that feel, Chris Russell, being on the bubble with Pedro Barros on the outside looking in?
Pedro taking a lot of time on these setup carves, though.
Wow, look at that. Really quick turn to make that frontside air from shallow to deep.
All right, 10 seconds to go.
Wow, front blunt to front Smith, adding some difficulty in this second run. Is it going to be enough? Backside 5. Pedro Barros is going to be in the finals.
Sorry, dude, I couldn't hear you. I was deafened by the crowd. We're looking at a strong Pedro Barros fan club up in the stands. Pedro knows he has definitely improved in his last run. That was a 79.02. How's this for a finisher?
Straight up, similar to Tom Shar. Perfect backside grab 540 in the deep end.
Crazy part about that was it didn't look like he had quite enough speed, but somehow these Pedro Barros just tree trunk legs pumped him into that.
If there's anyone that can get his speed back, it is Pedro. That guy is such a powerhouse.
Get ready for it, Neil. The crowd's about to go nuts. Pedro Barros now with an 87.10. 540s his way to the top of the leaderboard. Your new leader going into the finals for Pedro Barros.
Huge story. Chris Russell not going to be in the finals, unfortunately.
Wow, so Corey Juno now sitting at 19th. And that is not where we expected to see Corey this deep into the semifinals.
That back tail's got to be one of the styliest tricks on that back wall. Front blunt. Tricky line right here, back lip on the extension, setting the foot up for the kick flip. There's the frontside flip, perfect. Corey has got to make this full run, and he fell off the nose grind.
I'm shocked.
He made the hard trick and then fell off with 5 seconds to go. Corey's only going to have one more chance to make it to the finals. I don't think that run is going to be enough with that fall.
Well, this is going to be cool for the bean counters out there who are looking at scores. So Corey Juno's last score was a 64.23. Now, he added that frontside flip. So you do the math when his score drops. You're going to see what just one trick can mean to your total score, a 69.60. So really almost a full 5 points for this one trick that was
Look at that. That's just
perfection.
Not any frontside flip. That's a waist-high, caught clean frontside flip.
And had he gone into that nose grind, I mean, that would have been easily in the 80s.
He didn't even need the nose grind. He could have just done a Smith grind just to wind the clock out and probably been in the top 8.
He's got 2 more opportunities. He does need to get something in that 80-plus range. Here's your current second-place skater now after Pedro Barros' last shot across the bow. This is Ivan Federico.
Yeah, Ivan, I think, is just going to test out some stuff for the finals now. He's sitting good for the final round. Maybe going to work on this line a little bit, see what he can add to it. There's the boneless. We saw him fall on last run. Stylish Smith. Backside boneless in the deep end, squeaking those back wheels in, almost hanging up, going for the blunt slide. Great job, Ivan Federico.
Tell he's feeling safe. Pastris, give us a word from the deck.
What's up, guys? My eardrums almost exploded after Pedro Barros' run, and I went and chatted with him a little bit about that line and the 540, and he said that was pretty much unplanned. It was his first 540 in the bowl. So Pedro saw his first run scores, knew he had to find a harder line and add some difficulty, and he did it, sitting in first place with an 87.1.
Right on, thanks, Pastris. And I put, you got Pedro Barros and Tom Shar, who both skaters really just have that 540 on lock. And they can pull it out when needed. It's like in case of emergency, break glass.
Spin to win on anything. Unplanned, though, I'm not buying it.
Kevin Kowalski now, he's got 2 more opportunities. What can he do here in his 3rd run in semifinals 4?
Wasn't able to get the hurricane all the way around. That is one of the hardest tricks on that part of the park. Like I mentioned, there's transition at the bottom, and then it's just a bank. So there's not a lot of transition to hold you in the park on that hurricane grind.
Now Kowalski got a 13th in Manly, not the start that he wanted, not the start we expected from Kowalski, who appeared on the podium like 4 times last year. Alex Sorgente now, 30 seconds on the clock. He needs an 87.11 for first place, but he'll settle for something to keep him in that 8th place mark.
Oh, nose grind gets away from him. Alex is still not totally safe with a couple guys like Corey Juneau and Kevin Kowalski still outside the top 8. That 7th place position is not totally safe right now.
He's hanging on by a thread. And I tell you, Corey Juneau, who hangs out with Sorgente a lot, I mean, he would love nothing more than to knock him right out of that 7th place spot. We'll see. Pedro Barros now, he is absolutely safe with a huge score, an 87.10. This is going to be a run for the fans. And thankfully for us, for every skate fan watching, Pedro Barros never takes it easy.
No, this is so fun to watch. The pressure's off a little bit now, so Pedro's able to try some stuff out. Switch carve, going for switch front 50.
Well, that was unplanned.
Yeah,
that whole run.
There again, I think Pedro was just trying something out to see if he could use that line in the finals, if he needs it.
Well, we have the highest score and the lowest score of the day. 87.10 and a 22.42 for Pedro's last run. Corey Juneau, 3rd run. He's only got 2 more chances here to make the final 8. We'll see what Corey Juneau from San Diego, California's got for us.
I love this back tail, just fully locked in. Carving so far. One of the biggest airs you'll see in the deep end. Front blunt on the back wall.
15 seconds.
Here it is. Watch the foot set up. So technical right here. Oh, he got away from him. I thought he was going to make it.
Well, now he's got to be stressing.
That is super high stress. He is, I told you that trick is going to make it or break it for Corey. He's going to have one last run to get into the finals.
Do you try that trick again in your 4th last chance?
You got it. That's what he's been practicing all week. And we've seen how hard it is to get in the top 8. He's got to go for it.
All right, Ivan Federico. That'll be a quick throwaway for Ivan. And you almost hope, if you're Corey Juneau, you want a little bit more time. And now you're going to start seeing he's going to be right back in the mix.
You don't want these guys to have really quick bails. You need a couple minutes just to catch your breath.
All right, we've got 4 more skaters to go here in semifinals number 4. This is Kevin Kowalski's last chance, Neil.
Gonna be last chance for one of Oregon's finest. There's the hurricane grind, made it clean. Front blunt like Kevin was trying.
Man, that's a bit of a bummer because Kevin Kowalski
everything I own if you told me he was going to be in 19th place after the semifinals.
He's not quite ultimately safe yet. Alex Sorgente.
Could bump Alex out, so I believe Alex is guaranteed to be in the final. Yeah, that was really awesome.
And he's still got 20 seconds. He's already done
50-50 back into the deep end.
All right, stay on. You got 9 seconds. Whoa, that was a mind bender.
Wow, this lip trickery from Alex Sorgente.
We were pretty sure he was the feel for Alex Sorgente.
And you know what that's going to mean? Robin Bowling is going to be the last guy to have a shot to knock Robin Bolian out. Wet through one more Corey Juneau frontside flip.
Wow, Sorgente. 3.14, that's enough to get him in 4th place. He's feeling good, he's feeling safe. No. Towards the finals, and now he's going to just kind of test a few things out. I believe it time hadn't started yet. Now it starts.
Oh, didn't quite lock into the backsmith. That's going to be another throw.
You know, a guy who we all expected to easily blast into the finals.
Great result in Park Series since Vancouver last year. It's going to be
from San Diego, California, Corey Juneau. No stress, let's see it.
big frontside nose bone booster in the deep end, so smooth. Right here. There's the frontside flip, he made it. What he fell! He fell right at time. How are that fall was literally as the buzzer went off, but with
say is, wow, an incredible semifinals down to the wire.
That
Corey
last heat
Juneau.
was so gnarly. It came down to head-to-head between Robin Bolian and Corey Juneau, and the last second fall of Corey threw the whole thing up in the air.
He got through literally by the skin of his teeth that far,
But
at 80.71.
the thing is, he barely squeaked through, but we saw he can put that run together. If he makes the whole thing clean, he could be in the top 3.
Well, we have our top 8. It was a savage cut, as we always see on Vans Park Series. We went from 20 to 8 of the world's best park skaters. That was an incredible semifinals. What are you looking forward to in the finals?
Honestly, all 8 of these guys could win the contest. We saw Alex Sorgente do some lip tricks we'd never seen. We know that Pedro's always got some secrets in his bag. Ivan Federico made his semifinal run easy. Could be anyone.
Now, I love that we have underdogs like Murillo Perez. We've got favorites, Pedro Barros. And then right in the middle, I mean, guys like Alex Sorgente, he's a wounded animal right now, and he's backed into a corner. And from what I just saw in the semis, he has the capacity to win this contest.
Yeah, Tom Shar won the last stop, then got hit with the flu as soon as he got here. We haven't even seen, we've been watching all the practice sessions. We don't even know what Tom's got up his sleeve. He's barely been able to practice.
Well, all right, skate fans, I want to welcome you to the finals of stop number 2 of the Vans Park Series 2017. We're here in beautiful Serra Negra. This is about 20 minutes outside of the town of Serra Negra, right about 2 hours past Sao Paulo, an incredible skate park location. We're gonna go down to the deck with Chris Pastris.
Everyone, if you are just tuning in, welcome, bon dia. Chris Pastris here. We're in the mountains of Brazil, a couple hours north of Sao Paulo, here at Santo Bowl. As you saw, if you were tuned in, Pedro Barros just destroyed this bowl. First place leading into our finals, which is about to go down. Top 8. It's been an amazing weekend. The skateboarding is on fire, and this is all leading up to our global championships later in the year. The skating has been off the hook, and expect the finals to be no different. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Pastris. The vibe around here is just electric. We're out here in the mountains of Sao Paulo, and if you are a Portuguese speaker, we do have 2 incredible commentators speaking in Portuguese, and they will talk you through the finals. So let's take a look at probably one of the best heats I've seen in the entire Park Series. Last year, this year, whatever. That was a crazy heat.
Yeah, Ivan Federico totally put it together in his first run in the semifinals, straight into the finals. Pedro Barros took a little bit more work. Look at that tricky line with the surf carve across the flat. Flying around this park at full speed.
The only surprise to me that it took him 2 runs to get that first place score. There you see, and after he got the score, nobody, I mean, he really just realized, I got this, I'm going to take it easy and figure some things out.
Love that Alex Sorgente found a little tricky transfer to start his run, ollie-in out of the quarter pipe on the park.
Yeah, and it wasn't an easy road for Alex either.
Not
he had
at
a
all.
couple bails going into his last 2 runs. That last run was really the one that solidified his spot in the finals. And then, of course, Corey Juneau, 3 bails in a row, finally pulled things together and really left it up to the judges, bailing on his last trick, and they just gave him the edge, knocking Robin Bolian out.
You never want to leave it up to the judges. You want to seal your fate on your own skills, not leave it up to the judges with a last-second fall. Unfortunately, in 9th and 10th place, Robin Bolian and Chris Russell barely getting bumped out.
Well, Chris Russell, the big shock to us, he won events last year. He made the finals in nearly every event, and now he finds himself in 10th place, out of the final picture. As we go down the board from 11 to 20, there we start to see, you know, these are some of the wild cards, some of the up-and-comers. CJ Collins at 12th. That's a solid result for CJ. Roman Pavic, your 2 youngest skaters, just making it through the qualifying is a feat in itself.
Yeah, I would say the big surprise in that is Kevin Kowalski in 19th. We saw Kevin killing the practice sessions. We talked about that hurricane grind transfer he had. Didn't expect to see Kevin in 19th place.
Yeah, that is a big shock to us. His worst result, historically speaking, here in Vans Park Series. So, bom dia to our Portuguese speakers on Red Bull TV. We do have a Portuguese stream, so I mean, if you're tired of Neil and I, and if you even want to learn Portuguese, you can go listen to skate commentary in Portuguese. And I tell you, this country of Brazil has a deep well of skate talent, and we are so just thankful and excited to be here up in these beautiful mountains of Serra Negra. Now let's get a look at the format. Not a lot changes, except for a few critical elements. So the best run counts, 4 runs each, 30 seconds, all that's the same. We have 8 skaters now. Neil, the big one, the first wall rebate. Explain that to me.
Yeah, first wall rebate means if you fall on your first trick, you get to completely start your run over, the clock resets.
And so basically you can try the hardest trick you've ever done, and if you bail, no harm, no foul, the clock resets. And so judging, the criteria stays the same. You gotta rip, you gotta skate fast, you gotta skate hard, you gotta skate technical, you gotta wow the judges. They're skate fans just like us, just like all of you watching.
Degree
they
of
want to be
difficulty,
dazzled.
style, and use of the park. These guys, with the shorter 30-second runs, they're gonna have to pack really heavy combinations of trick. Bam, 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 bam.
Now, when you think of the word power, that says Pedro Barros. That shows huge errors, but where about technical kind of kick flips and grind variations comes into play there? Do you have to just mix everything up?
Yeah, I think, you know, it all comes down to degree of difficulty. You see the run like Corey Juneau is doing, really stylish back tail slide, stand-up frontside nose grinds, and then that frontside flip that he's doing, just saw it in the background as he's doing the warm-up run right now. Technical skating counts a lot as well.
All right, this is your final. And we are super excited to see these 8 skaters do battle here at Santo Bowl. Corey Juneau, Willie Lara, Tristan Rennie, Murillo Perez, Alex Sorgente, Tom Shar, the winner of the first stop on the Vans Park Series, Ivan Federico, Pedro Barros. Ivan and Pedro now, they've been going head-to-head for quite some time now.
Yeah, after Ivan won the Vancouver stop last year in the 2016 Vans Park Series, he showed that he was going to be a threat, had to be reckoned with at every one of these stops.
Wow, so Corey Juneau is going to be going first in the finals. How do you think he's going to be able to kind of come back from a near disastrous situation?
I think he is just stoked to be in the final. He was really sweating it out there at the end, but we also saw what's possible. He bailed on that heel flip Indy right at time, but if he makes that trick, that could be a huge score.
And right after Corey Juneau is going to be Willie Lara. I haven't seen a lot of him in the finals, and this is very exciting for us Willie Lara fans, one of the most stylish skateboarders, not just in Vans Park Series, but on the planet.
I am such a huge Willie Lara fan. Even, we talked about it, even just his hand drag going from the shallow end to the deep end, petting the cat. Can't wait to see Willie Lara in the finals.
All right, folks, this is the finals, and we're going straight into it. From San Diego, California, just squeaking into the finals, it is Corey Juneau.
Wow, he under-rotated just a little bit on that re-entry, was luckily able to hang on. Corey Juneau, front blunt on the back wall. He's been trying this run in practice all week. Can he make the whole 30 seconds? Frontside flip, bolts landing, frontside nose grind. Is he gonna go for the heel flip Indy? That's the run that Corey wanted. And once again, just like the semifinals, he falls right at the buzzer.
Now, is that, if he makes that last trick, is that a winning run?
It depends on what everyone else does. I think if he makes that last trick, it's solidly in the mid-80s, but we saw Pedro and Ivan and those guys are capable of going 86, 87.
Yeah, I definitely think you're gonna be in the high 80s to win this thing. It's Corey Juneau. Never really shows stress in his game. Even after 3 runs that didn't go his way, you could tell he was so calm, casual. And as he skated his way into the finals. First score of the finals here at stop number 2, the Vans Park Series here in Serra Negra, Brazil, a 79.22. Now dropping in for more park, Willie Lara.
The most light-footed guy out there. Love
Subtle
Willie's
tail tap.
stance on his skateboard. That front foot is just so light. Big Indy disaster. Tucking the knee on the eggplant. Able to get out of it. Deep end with speed. Tricky. 1 foot lean to tail. Nose grab, 360 to rock and roll. Blunt slide for Willie Lara. Wow, the sugar cane just didn't lock in. Same thing as Corey Juneau, that fall was right at time.
What I like is that Willie looks like he's bringing a lot of confidence into this final. That, to me, was his best run yet. And, man, if there's anyone I could skate like, I want to skate like Willie Lara.
Don't we all?
Right?
Yeah.
Representing Real Skateboards, of course, Vans team rider. And Willie Lara's score is dropping now, an 81.77. So the difference now, still a tight race with 6 skaters to go, but Willie Lara currently sitting in first place.
Probably the first time we've seen Willie Lara at the top of the Vans Park Series leaderboard.
Dropping in now is Tristan Rennie.
Love that blunt slide. Tristan Rennie, what a start. Oh, the nose bone got away from him. Not sure if Tristan Rennie was just going for an indie nose bone or he was going to slap that one to disaster, but uncharacteristic early fall for Tristan, one of the most consistent skaters out here.
And I know you've watched Tristan compete in the past couple of, in a long time. He's been skating forever, so he'll definitely be able to pull it all back together. Now my pick to win, Murilo Perez, an underdog from right here in Sao Paulo, Brazil.
One of the coolest trick combinations right here. Back tail straight into the 5-0 to fakie, backwards into the deep end. Trick to start it off. Stalefish Reaver. Murillo took a monster slam in his semifinal heat. Luckily, looks like he's no worse for wear.
So Murillo.
Oh, the heel flip frontside air.
The flip tricks are all or nothing, aren't they? You will get an incremental increase in your score or
that's
drop.
A little bit different from Corey, because with Murillo, you're grabbing the board. It's a little bit safer. With Corey Juneau's frontside flip without grabbing, that's definitely harder than the heel flip frontside air.
Now, we did just get word from Ryan Clements, as usual, racing potential weather delays. We've canceled the first wall rebate. All or nothing. No gimmies here. Alex Sorgente from Lake Worth, Florida, currently living in San Diego, California. He is your reigning world champion for Vans Park Series. Alex Sorgente is in the park.
Alley-oop frontside 50-50 to start it off. Pumping for speed to take it back to the back wall. Stand-up nose grind washes out on him. Early fall for Sorgente.
I think these guys are just trying to add the drama.
But man, these guys are trying really hard runs, man. That's not just your regular nose grind on that wall. That is fully on top.
So Sorgente with a rare early fall. He's in 4th place, a 30. That's a throwaway for Alex Sorgente. So coming up next, this guy came from the bottom of the field to win in a shotgun style format at stop number 1 here on Vans Park Series. This is Tom Shar.
Backside 5-0 to start it off. Big floaty backside ollie
It's my
into the
favorite
deep
ollie
end.
of anybody.
For sure. Now the frontside ollie. Front feeble in the deep.
Now he's just racing to that 540, isn't he?
Got such a clean pop out on the front blunt.
I see where he's going. Will he have time to fit in this last trick?
Buzzer right here. Are they going to give that to him? Perfect 540.
So what do you think? That was what we talked about earlier. Rolling up to the coping. Time ran out.
I've always thought that if you're going up the wall, the judges will give it to you.
Kind of like basketball when you release the ball when the buzzer goes.
Really similar to Pedro's that we saw in the last semifinal heat.
Just a head-high, perfect 540 to finish his run. No big deal for Tom Shar.
Probably going to have a new leader. We do have a new leader. 84.83 first place. Bumps Willie Lara down to 2nd.
So what was it about Tom Shar's run that just improved over Willie Lara's?
Checked all the boxes. Used the whole park. Difficulty of tricks.
Smart competitive skateboarding from Tom Shar. Ivan Federico. This guy is a threat anytime he drops in.
Ivan put together an amazing run in the semifinals. He was going for a kickflip body jar, it looked like. Grabbing the nose on that. That is so hard to start off and do that like 2nd trick in your run. Looks like Ivan is trying to switch it up and not do the same run that qualified him for the finals.
And I feel like Ivan, he's so quiet, he's like the silent assassin here from Italy, but I feel like he's a student of skateboarding.
He is.
Because he's already done things to change up his game, I'm not saying we criticize him, but we just kind of said, look, Ivan needs to switch up some tricks. We've seen the kickflip meld, we've seen the kickflip lane, and he seems to be reacting to what he's been doing and kind of what not the critics, but what people have been saying that he could do to improve.
For sure. You know, when you're the new guy, you got all these new tricks. After a couple years, the judges have seen it all.
Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Brazilian heavyweight skater Pedro Barros.
Wow, stalefish tail slide.
Does anybody carve like this guy?
No,
Are you kidding me?
even just seeing the speed out of the deep end. Look at how he carved alley-oop in the air. These lines are impossible. He's doing lines that no one else can do in this park.
Now, this is a permanent cement skate park, and it is shaking right now. The fans are going that wild.
Front blunt to Smith. He's going to have one last hit right here. Is he going to do the 540? There it is. Money.
Are you kidding me right now? Pedro Barros is that clutch.
It is so fun to watch Pedro compete in his home country.
That was insanity, Pedro Barros. Just doing exactly what the crowd wanted. And the judges, and the fans at home. Leave it to Pedro Barros to start that strong. Is it better than an 84.83?
Look at that. The replay, stalefish to tail slide, carving so far across that back wall.
Well, I said the fans loved it. I know you at home are loving it. Neil and I, pastors, we're all loving it, and the judges are loving it too. The score is coming through for Pedro Barros. It's a big one. We're gonna let the fans just tell you exactly how big when they drop this score here in the amphitheater. Just listen to what the fans have to say here when this score drops.
91.24, the first score we've seen in the 90s all weekend.
And the crowd goes wild. So Pedro Barros now has laid down the gauntlet. The score to beat, a 91.24. So this stacked final just had a hammer thrown into the field.
That completely changes it, even just for the mentality of Tom Shar and Alex Sorgente and all those guys. Now it takes something completely different to win.
Yeah, you got to react to a big score. Corey Juneau now, this is his second run here in the finals. Just barely squeaked into it. We'll see what he can do to try to attack that massive 91.24.
Makes that back tail and then the big frontside nose bone in the deep end every time. Now here's where he adjusts his feet across the flat. Huge frontside flip. When he lands that, his feet are just perfect. This is huge right here. He decided not to do the heel flip in. He did an eggplant instead. A little bit of a safety there at the end.
Well, you know, he didn't have the hype factor of Pedro, but the technicality in some of the tricks he chose right there.
Hey, that's the best run that we've seen Corey do all weekend. So that's going to be a big score.
I'm loving this crowd too. They know a lot about skating. You can tell because they've gone silent waiting for this score.
Look
they
at that.
know this was a good run.
His feet just land perfect on the bolts.
Yeah, so I love just that beautiful frontside flip, landing bolts. Score's going to come through. It's going to be in that 80 range. Wait for it to drop here. It's going to be 83.21 for Corey Juneau.
Just behind Tom Shar, currently in a podium spot in third place. So still Pedro Barros in the lead, followed by Tom Shar and Corey Juneau.
All right, we're going to drop him in right now.
All right, so Willie Lara skating in his first final of the year. Here we go, 30 seconds on the clock for Willie Lara.
Willie was leading this thing till just a few minutes ago. Huge frontside nose bone disaster in the corner pocket.
Heavy.
Front nose blunt, keeping his speed. Gearing up frontside, across the love seat, frontside nose bone to tail.
Now, if this was a carving world championships, you'd have to give it to Willie and Pedro so far.
The kickflip Indy that Willie made in the semifinals did not work out for him in the final round.
So that will be a throwaway. His first score in 81.77. That's enough to keep him in fourth place for now. Great start to that run. But it looked like, you know, again, when you see these guys with these extended long pumps around the park, that's really where they get into time trouble.
Yeah, with 30-second runs, you just have to hammer the tricks out super quick. It looks cool when Willie's skating around the park, but you're not putting any points on the board.
But Willie Lara drops a 58.61 for his second run. So we're going to go back to Tristan Rennie who uncharacteristically dropped a 23.59, his worst score yet, after dropping multiple high 70s and an 80 in the first round. Here we go, Tristan Rennie.
Yeah, back blunt slide across the love seat. There's the Indy disaster that he fell on his first run in the final. And the alley-oop tail grab from deep to shallow got away from him. Another uncharacteristic early fall, but how rad is the start of that run?
I mean, that's a run to me that if he puts everything together so far, to me that's the only really heavily run that could challenge what Pedro's got right now.
For sure.
And, you know, of course, Murillo Perez, his first run as well, 58.79, he wants to throw that away. And now this is kind of an understudy of Pedro. He
really is.
To take out, you know, the guy that's kind of been right above him his whole life. Here we go, Murillo Perez.
Oh, another heavy slam for Murillo. He was trying to do a back Smith and go to back tail, and it looked like he was so locked into the back Smith, he wasn't able to scoop it up into tail slide. That was almost a backflip to the bottom of the park. That's the second time we've seen monster slams from Murillo Perez.
And you never like to see that because he's not only a crowd favorite, but he's one of our favorites. He is always so fun to watch. He puts everything out there.
Appreciate Alex Sorgente giving him a hand to get out of the park.
His style is so smooth that you really can't tell that he's really going 1,000%. Here goes Alex Sorgente.
Oh, it didn't lock in the alley-oop 50-50.
Well, now what does he do?
Tries to salvage it. That's going to be, you know, kind of no score on that first trick. He can still save it. Big body jar with the light front foot. I love this fakie trick over the spine. Wow, straight half cab. And the blunt to fakie accidentally slid on him. That's going to be a throwaway for Alex Sorgente.
I'm kind of in the same boat as I am with Tristan Rennie right now. I'm a little bit shocked to not see a complete run yet from Alex Sorgente. Only his second run, so he's got 2 more opportunities. You know, we've seen him do that. We've seen him go head-to-head with Pedro Barros. He beat him in the World Championships last year in Malmö, Sweden on the Vans Park Series. So he knows what he has to do to beat Pedro. But at this point, the crowd's behind him, the momentum is behind him. Pedro's going to be really tough to beat. Can Tom Schaar do it? Tom
Schaar's got an 84, and what can he do to up that score to get up into the Pedro territory? Tweaking out the lean melon, front feeble in the deep end.
I think he might be adding just a couple quick tricks in the mix.
Stylish stalefish in the deep end. Couple more hits for Tom. There's the styly back tail. Backside 540. Big spin disaster. Trying to add one more trick there at the end of his run.
In looking at the timing there, he got to the back 5 with about 3 seconds to spare, whereas his previous run, he was getting there with time winding out.
Yep.
So if he can fit in one more trick after that back 5, then he could be in business. That score is going to come through 83.53, so it's not going to be better than his first scoring run.
Yeah, it was super similar to his first run. So a lot of times when the judges see you do the same run over and over again, they might even dock you a little bit.
So Tom Schaar is going to be looking to run 3 and 4. Now, Ivan Federico, another guy who has beaten Pedro Barros in the past, has to step it up, has to get a complete run under his belt. His first run was in 14.34.
Yeah, here's the difference. He's beaten Pedro Barros, but not in Brazil.
There you go.
Pedro is next level when he's in his home country. Kickflip body jar again, getting away from Ivan Federico. That is, you know, when you kickflip your board, it's one thing to grab Indy or grab Melon. To grab a kickflipping board on the nose is so hard.
Well, yeah, just the space you have, 8 inches as opposed to 32 inches or so. So Pedro Barros now, sitting in the lead with the highest score of the event, a 91.24. Here goes the cheers from the crowd. Here goes the Cuban cannonball into Santo Bowl.
Big backside tweak air, carving across the flat end, the deep end, front side, super long lip slide, staying in the deep. Speed lines galore for Pedro Barros. Boneless to tail slide? I've never seen Pedro do that.
He wants a 93.
Kickflip Indy on the teardrop.
Oh my!
Are you kidding me?
Pedro Barros.
I thought he was gonna completely hang up on that 540. He stayed completely tucked up and just sucked it in.
Well,
he did a kickflip Indy on the teardrop, which is the hardest, harshest hip in this park. That is going to improve his 91.
So Neil, let's talk about who's going to get second place today.
Yeah, this has officially become a battle for second place.
Unstoppable.
Pedro has this one in the bag.
Well, I said he wanted a 93, but he improved on that, a 94.45.
Unbelievable. One of the highest scores we've ever seen in Vans Park Series.
That, to me...
Watch how he stays hung. He was completely hung up by like a foot.
We talked about how sketchy that waterfall was. He just used it to his advantage.
He is so good at just like squatting out of stuff that he should not make.
That's strength and power. And you know, the judges said there's a board earlier, the judging, they want speed, power, flow, degree of difficulty. He just blew everything out of the water with that last run.
First by 10 points. When have we ever seen someone lead a contest by 10 points?
Never. Now Corey Juno has to somehow fight out of this hole in third place.
That is really hard to skate after a run like that.
I mean, I can hardly breathe. I can imagine what Corey Juno's feeling like.
Going for a different line. Looked like he switched it up a little bit. Unfortunately, fell off on the nose grind.
Well, everybody now knows that the runs that they've been practicing are going to be useless at this point. You've got to throw something crazy into your existing run if you want even a shot at beating Pedro Barros right now.
Hey, but look at some of these young up-and-coming guys. For someone like Willie Lara or Murillo Perez, it would be huge just for these guys to be on the podium. Willie Lara's never been on a podium in a pro contest or Vans Park Series ever.
So he's got about 15 seconds to go. Always looking stylish. We'll see if he can finish this run strong. 10 seconds to go.
Big body jar in the deep end. There's the kickflip Indy. Oh, it looked like he grabbed the board a little too close to the nose. On that trick, you gotta grab it right in the middle so you can just smash it onto your feet.
Now, a telling thing to me about this park, in previous events, at previous skate parks, I've seen a lot of, you know, guys riding fakie, guys even riding switch. We're not really seeing much of that in this park, are we?
I think that's, you know, because of the shorter runs, and the judges have shown that they really want to see you keep your speed for the whole 30 seconds. It's hard to keep your speed going backwards.
All right, well, Tristan Rennie, 23 and a 38. We'll see if he can do something to just stay on his board and put together a full run.
I love these first two tricks, the blunt slide into that really decked out disaster. Again, the alley-oop tail grab. It's funny because the first few runs of the semifinals, we saw him do that trick and he was grabbing the nose. Looks like grabbing tail is just a little bit more inconsistent for Tristan. What's up, taco dudes?
He's just a little shocked right now, going, what is going on? This is one of the most consistent guys we have on the Vans Park Series.
It's one of those things in the finals, though, you got to try the most difficult grab. You got to try the most difficult line, and that's where you got to just throw the safety tricks out.
Well, this dude is like the Rambo of skateboarding, fighting back from just some insane slams already. Murillo Perez from Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Yeah, Murillo's got 2 Hall of Meat-worthy slams already just in his contest runs from the semifinals and finals. Look at that 5-0 to fakie backwards into the deep end. Such a tricky combination. Stalefish revert. I thought he was way leaning back too much to make that trick.
Well, you can tell he wants it no matter what, by any means necessary. Murillo Perez.
Wow, there's the heel flip frontside air. Could Murillo join Pedro on the podium?
Last trick.
Backtail revert. He's on.
That's a make. Contest make.
That was an amazing run. That's the best run we've seen Murillo put together out of the semifinals or finals.
Can I have a high five?
That was great.
I love this contest.
I want to give Murillo a long distance high five. These Brazilian skaters go completely next level when they're in their home country.
This guy can barely walk. He's doing tail slide reverts. It doesn't get much more flared out than that.
Look at this, setting his foot up, heel flip frontside grab on the small tranny. And then last trick, he knows the buzzer's gonna go off, and then tail slide revert in the deep end.
And how do you just keep going? I mean, right there, he did his hardest tricks halfway through his run. So the scores are going to come through. It's going to be an 82.31, so that's enough for 4th place. He's just out of that top 3.
Just barely behind Corey Juneau in 3rd place.
What can he do to improve on that run?
You know, maybe clean up that last trick.
All right, here goes Alex Sargente with a 30 and a 53, not telling of how good this kid is.
Yeah, that time the alley-oop front 50 locked in perfect, and the nose grind locked in perfect. Alex Sargente is on a good one, folks.
Rocket air to tail, rocket air body jar.
Look at that. Cab to Smith goes down on the spine hard.
Wow. So man, that just knocked the wind out of Alex. You can see he's just trying to breathe. So of course, like I said before, our medical staff, top notch. We always keep a close eye on every skater that drops in.
Everyone in this final is just beat and battered. We saw Alex Sargente having to get his front ankle taped really heavily before the semifinals even started.
His last run is 61.89. The start of that run looked incredible. Had he stayed on, I have a good feeling that would be up into the 80s. Here goes Tom Shar. He's got an 84 and an 83. What's he got to do to crack that 85?
What a performance for a guy that was in bed with the flu the first 4 days he was down here. We completely thought that Tom Shar wouldn't be a factor in this contest from lack of practice and just skating it, you know, with the flu and this humidity, sweating everything out of you.
He was a dead man walking yesterday.
Love that stylish back tail.
5 seconds.
Does he have time for one more trick? Under-rotated just a little bit on the 540. I think he was still trying to stick that big spin back disaster as his last trick.
So Tom Shar, consistency-wise, 84.83, 83.53.
Yeah, he's
crazy scores.
He's sticking to that run for sure, and unlike the other guys, he honestly probably really hasn't had the practice time to figure out another run. He's now just trying to add little bits and pieces here and there.
I got to give it to this passionate Brazilian crowd. They know good skateboarding, and they know when somebody's putting in so much effort, like Tom Shar just did. He got a huge round of applause when he came out of the bowl, and hobbled out of the bowl, I should say. But he'll be back. He's got one more run. Here we go. Ivan Federico, 2 poor starts. We'll see if the Italian can put it back together.
Yeah, uncharacteristically at the bottom of the leaderboard, decided not to try the kickflip body jar. He fell on it his first 2 runs. Going for something a little bit safer. There's the kickflip melon into the deep, straight into a blunt slide. This is what we talked about. You got to do quick hits, trick after trick after trick. Air over the teardrop in a really tricky position. Sounded like his board snapped on the natural disaster. Gonna be last trick right here. Kickflip backside to tail.
What?
He always does kickflip backside grab disaster. He took it to tail. This guy always pulls something out.
Wow, and the crowd goes wild, but they should be a little bit worried because Ivan Federico could now be in the conversation to take down Pedro Barros.
You know, this run wins like 90% of the Vans Park Series stops we've ever had. This would be a winning run anytime but today when Pedro already has a 94 on the board.
Hold on, Neil, listen to the silence. They're waiting for this score to come through.
I'm nervous. I know the crowd's nervous.
Well, it's an 87.31, so that's enough for second place, but still, we got about 7 full points of difference between first and second.
How about this? The leaderboard and podium right now is the same 3 guys that we had from Manly, different order.
So Pedro Barros starting with a deck 360 flip. Now he's in. A little confusing start there for Pedro Barros.
Alley-oop front 50. Shout out to Raven Tershi. Not able to make it down to Brazil with us this time. It's one of Raven's trademarks. Pedro's just having fun. Love the front blunt to disaster. This is what we call a victory lap. Kickflip, backflip. Are you kidding me? This dude is just next level today.
He can't do wrong right now. Every trick is sticking right to his feet.
Some days you just have those really special days Pedro's having one.
Pastris, where you at?
Yeah, guys, I'm here on the deck just watching this crowd just get so behind Pedro. It's insane. Everyone's got their phones out, their cameras out, they're going nuts. You heard the silence after Ivan's run. This crowd definitely wants a Pedro Barros win. And the crazy thing is, he hadn't even done a 540 in practice. He's sticking him every single run. I think this is Pedro's event.
Well, for the first time in history, we have a skater who's dropped 3 90-plus runs in a row. Pedro Barros' last run, a 93.79 with a mistake at the beginning.
Yeah, the 3 best runs of the event have all been from Pedro Barros.
Of the year.
What an amazing performance.
Wow, so well into the lead. And here we go. Last chance. Can Corey Juno do what it takes to best a 94.45?
Corey was on the podium for a while, just got bumped down to 4th place. Looks like he's trying a different line, going for the nose grind over the love seat.
He was doing that run in practice every time, and I'm glad he went back to it for his 4th and final run.
Oh, the frontside flip got away from him, and that is going to be it for Corey Juno.
4th place is the best Corey Juno can do.
Unfortunately, not going to end up on the podium this time around.
Now in 6th place with his final chance, getting into the top 3. Already his best result yet on Vans Park Series. And the more Willie Lara we get, the better. This guy is one of our favorites to watch. And here goes his last run
and I think
of
just
the finals.
With more contest experience, Willie's just going to continue to have better and better results. Already has the best style. So fun to watch this guy skate.
What was that little practice flip he just did?
Yeah, he's trying the kickflip Indy. So even just kind of having the muscle memory of just flipping your board into your hand really helps.
I love the scoop he got on that backside ollie to start this run.
Everything he does just looks so buttery.
Well, he's halfway through. So far, so good.
Love this body jar right here, setting his feet up for the kickflip Indy. This is the trick he's going for. That one flipped perfect. The board flipped so quick, straight into his hand. This could be Willie's best run. Love the nose grab disaster. Oh, and that fall at time. It's gonna keep Willie off the podium. But that was a great run, Willie Lara.
That was probably the best Willie Lara run we've seen on Vans Park Series. That was insane.
That kickflip Indy, he grabbed it really tuck knee and with his feet perfect. That was so cool looking.
Well, the score comes through for Willie Lara. He was in 6th place. You can stay right there at 80.03. Tristan Rennie needs to beat a 94.46. That's a good start.
Yeah, Tristan needs this run. He's got to make this alley-oop out of the deep end. That's the trick he was struggling in. Decided to grab the nose on that one a little bit safer than the tail grab he was trying.
He's got to finish strong. 10 seconds to go.
This is Tristan's best run in the final so far. Floaty backside ollie, keep his speed. Front 5-0, revert.
Last couple of tricks here.
Rad final run for Tristan Rennie. He was in 8th place, might bump him up just a couple spots, but those guys are really close with Willie Lara, Alex Sorgente in 6th and 7th.
Well, you got to give it up to Tristan Rennie for winning the qualifiers in a super stacked field of guys he's never competed against. We had an incredible lineup of Brazilian skaters, traveling skaters, and Tristan Rennie qualified first, taking it into the final day.
Look at how hard that run was, and we're thinking, oh, he might have bumped from 8th to 7th.
Yeah, a 75.46 for Tristan Rennie. Going to be one of his best results ever on Vans Park Series. Here we go, Murillo Perez, currently in 5th place.
I love how he starts his run with the ollie straight into the speed pump. Oh no, another slam. Could Murillo slam again? Are you kidding me?
Wow, Murillo Perez, a fighter, a crowd favorite, a skateboard warrior.
This guy suffered through a couple of knee injuries the last couple of years. You mentioned in the intro, he's finally injury-free, and then he takes monster slams all day.
There you see, I mean, he is destroyed after an incredible, yet devastating day of skating, and he makes his way out of the park on his own 2 feet. Here we go, Alex Sorgente, his last chance to beat his rival, Pedro Barros.
Yeah, the podium is not set until Alex Sorgente is done. He has not put a full run together in the finals yet. What an amazing start. That Smith grind into the deep end is such a rad line. This is what took him out last run. Cab to Smith over the spine. Wow, Alex Sorgente, couple more tricks. Nose grind to front Smith. Frontside ollie 180 to nose. Oh, wow, where is that gonna put Sorgente? Alley-oop front 50-50 to revert. Once again, that's a run like Ivan Federico. That wins most of the Vans Park Series stops.
Usually we see...
That's usually a winning run.
Usually we see one Hail Mary. He just threw 5 and he did them all perfectly. Alex Sorgente. I would not want to be a judge right now. I'll tell you that much.
I think that bumps Char off the podium. I think it's definitely like second or third. I don't think it's going to be Pedro territory, but I think that puts Sorgente on the podium.
So right now your top 3, Tom Char, Ivan Federico, and Pedro Barros. Will Sorgente skate his way into the top 3? He does. And Tom Char's just got to wait and react to the score that's about to drop. It was an 85.29 for Alex Sorgente. Tom Char now has that marker to beat. So needing a 94.46 to take the win. Needing to better an 85.29 to get back into 3rd place. All day I could watch that trick. All day. 5 seconds.
See if Tom goes for this big spin disaster. Got a little sketchy. Oh, and he still almost made it. He came up the waterfall out of the deep end, completely out of control, somehow held on and almost made the big spin disaster. That was full head-to-head battle with Sorgente to get back on the podium.
I mean, and he's just right there. The score comes through in 81.43. It's not going to be enough. So your podium is set now, but Ivan Federico is our last warrior that has the potential shot at taking down Pedro Barros. And if anybody can do it, it's Ivan Federico.
Look, Ivan is already eyeing up a transfer we haven't seen. Boneless in. It looked like his foot slipped on the takeoff. Ivan Federico is going to try and do everything humanly possible to knock Pedro off. The kickflip body jar got away. Pedro Barros wins here in Serra Negra.
Wow, stop number 2 on the Vans Park Series belongs to Pedro Barros, who does not leave anything up to chance. He's already had 3 runs in the 90 range, unprecedented for any contest. Now Pedro Barros with his 4th and final run. Federico's last score comes through at 34.78. This is all about the victory lap. Not surprising, but the way that he did it was just incredible.
He's gonna try switch front 50 across the love seat. There it is, wow. 180 in the flat. This is just classic Pedro Barros. So fun to watch.
It's just a fan appreciation run here for Pedro.
I think it'd be cool if he got another 90.
Why not?
First 3 runs were all in the 90s. That is absolute domination.
And Pedro Barros coming into this contest as easily the favorite. Nobody would say anything different. He's proven that he is one of the most dominant park skaters to ever step foot on a skateboard. Pedro Barros, unbeatable in Brazil.
Watching Pedro today was truly something special. To have 3 runs in the 90s when Ivan in 2nd place ended up with an 87.31. Like I said, Ivan and Alex Sorgente's runs normally win. Those were such gnarly runs, and Pedro blew them away.
History with 3 90s. I mean, back me up here. That is unprecedented. 3 runs in the 90 range.
Congratulations from his girlfriend there on the deck. It's got to feel good.
We're going to grab Chris Pastras, who is down on the deck right now with Pedro Barros.
First off, let's have a round of applause for Mr. Pedro Barros right now. Yes, man. Oh, my gosh. What are you feeling right now? Describe it, Pedro.
I'm stoked. I'm here. My home country, Brazil. all my friends, family, they all came out. Good energy, everybody killed it. It was amazing.
And these Brazilian skateboard fans are so passionate. Describe it for us. Describe the skate scene here.
It's skateboarding, it's the heat, it's that flame that's gonna be always alive, you know, when it's done with passion and truly done, you know, you're gonna see everybody out here giving all they got.
And those runs were just so insane. Were those lines planned?
Not really. I mean, I was skating the whole week here, so kind of had the course already, like, figured out pretty much. But, you know, it's skateboarding. We got to just kind of do what hits the head and just put it out.
You really feed off this crowd as well, hey?
Oh, it's always good, you know? Always good.
Amazing. Congratulations, Pedro Barros, our winner, Vans Park Series, stop number 2, Serra Negra. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. To all the skate fans watching on Red Bull TV, VansParkSeries.com, and the Vans Park Series app, you've just witnessed history with Pedro Barros dropping 3 scores in the 90s, an unprecedented feat in skateboarding. Chris Cote here with Neil Hendricks. Are you kidding me? Stop number 2. That is exactly what we wanted to see.
Yeah, that shows why Pedro is one of the best skateboarders ever. Just when the pressure's on, Pedro is always able to up his game. He always pulls it off when he's in his home country of Brazil.
Well, parabéns to Pedro Barros, and of course, the rest of the skaters in this field. We started today with 20 skaters. We made that cut to 8, and your 8 finalists are on the deck now with the one and only Dune, Mr. Chris Pastris.
Thank you, Chris Cote. And I'd like to thank this Brazilian crowd. You guys were so intense and just hyped the whole way through. Amazing. And we're very excited to be here in Brazil for stop number 2 of the Vans Park Series. We want to first off thank our sponsors, of course, Vans, supporting core skateboarding out here with the Vans Park Series. Red Bull, Thrasher, The Border, the city of Serra Negra. You guys are beautiful. Athletes and fans. And right now, I'm going to bring on our award presenters. We have, from the skate community of Serra Negra, Lamar Skavinsky. Where you at, Lamar? Come on up, sir. Thank you for all you do for skateboarding, Lamar. We've got holding the 2nd place trophy, Daniel Camirion from Vans South America. Thank you, Daniel. And the one and only, my boy, Mr. Justin Regan from Vans Park Series, holding the 1st place trophy. And let's get into it, eh? In 3rd place, that final run down to the wire, we have Mr. Alex Sargente. Yeah, Alex. Yeah. Yeah, Alex. Down to the wire when the pressure counts. In 2nd place, we have Daniel, in 2nd place with Daniel Camirion with his trophy, we have Ivan Federico. Yeah, Ivan. Italian Stallion. Yeah, buddy. And with the 1st place trophy, Justin Regan will present Mr. Pedro Barros. Yes. Woo. Yeah, Pedro. Amazing performance. Putting it all on the line for the Brazilian fans. So amazing. Yes. Let's get something in Portuguese for our viewers here, Pedro.
Bom, é isso aí. Obrigado, galera, para todo mundo que veio prestigiar esse evento aqui em Serra Negra. Valeu, Betão, por abrir esse espaço, esse bom animal. Ninguém tá me escutando legal, mas é isso aí, galera. Vamos tomar layback e celebrar. Valeu.
Yes, congratulations to all 3 of our Vans Park Series winners. Yes. Back to you guys upstairs.
Wow, so an incredible lineup. 3 skaters that we're getting very used to seeing in the top 3 here on Vans Park Series. What a battle. And it really became evident that that was going to be a war for second place. After what Pedro Barros did on his first run, backed it up second run, it looked like only Ivan Federico was going to be able to potentially catch him, but in the end it was all Pedro.
And I thought with this park being so different from Australia, I thought we would have a big shake-up in the leaderboard. We really didn't. That shows that these guys are the best park skaters in the world. 3 of the same top 4 as we had in Australia.
But we saw an incredible lineup of skaters come through here and skate all the way through qualifying. We started with 20 today. We got our top 8, and let's take a look back at some of the winningest runs that we've seen on the day. Pedro Barros laid it down from beginning to end, crushing it with 3 90-plus runs. Here's a look at Pedro Barros.
This was just absolutely something special to watch. Look at that lip slide. Covered about 30 pool coping blocks in the deep end. Boneless to tail slide. I've never seen Pedro do that trick before today. And that was the 540 that he barely hung on. Almost hung up his back trucks. And the crowd goes crazy. Another 90-plus score for Pedro in the books.
And I think Pedro Barros not only feeds off the crowd, but he feeds off the competition. You know, he knows for him, for his honor to lose in Brazil, that would be hard for him to take. We've seen how hard he takes losses around the world. You can imagine what would happen here. He was not going to let that happen.
He did not let that happen. And Ivan Federico and Alex Sorgente took their best shots, man. Those guys ended up making really amazing runs, but couldn't even come close to holding a candle to Pedro today.
Congratulations to all of our finalists. Tristan Rennie, 75.46, Willie Lara, the incredibly stylish Willie Lara, making it to the finals for his first time. Murillo Perez, absolute warrior. You've got to give him the Battler Award in the finals. Corey Juno in 5th, Tom Sharp just getting bumped out of 3rd place by Alex Sorgente, Ivan Federico. Now, no surprise. This would have been surprising at the beginning of last year, but now we're used to seeing Ivan. And then there he is, your champion, Pedro Barros.
How about Ivan Federico? 2nd place in Australia, 2nd place again here in Brazil.
Well, we started in Manly Beach, Australia. Beautiful skate park, custom built right on the beach. It was Tom Sharp that took out our first stop on Vans Park Series. Now here in Serra Negra, Brazil, Pedro Barros, your champion. So from here, we're going up north all the way to Malmö, Sweden. Our European stop is going to be incredible. We love that skate park in Kroksbach. And now, Neil, Vancouver,
taking
Hastings.
it to North America. Every year we go to the legendary Hastings Skate Park. This year's July 7th and 8th in Vancouver, Canada. Then down the coast to the Vans US Open of Surfing, August 1st to 5th. We're going to have the women there competing also in Huntington Beach.
That's going to be fun to watch. This all leads up to our Vans Park Series World Championships that will be going on later this year. And this place is still rocking as the fans descend from the stands. There's going to be a massive party in Serra Negra tonight as Brazil's favorite son, Pedro Barros, took the title and did it in a just stunning fashion.
Thank you, Mother Nature, for no rain. That was amazing to get through a Vans Park Series stop with no rain delays. That got a little old in Australia last month.
Well, we've seen 2 days of incredible skateboarding. We saw the Brazilian National Championships go down. The practice sections could have been video parts in themselves. Some incredible skateboarding throughout the past couple days. Safe to say, Brazilian skateboarding among the best of the best, not just skaters, but fans as well.
For sure, some of the best skateboarders in the world coming out of Brazil right now.
Well, Serra Negra is now on the map officially as a skate spot like no other. Like I said, we're 20 minutes out of Serra Negra, which is about 2 hours out of Sao Paulo, up in these beautiful mountains, and what an incredible spot. I didn't even know skate parks like this existed on the planet, but now we've seen history go down at one of them.
Yeah, what a unique situation. It's cool to see that the crowd came out to such a remote location to see some of the best park skaters in the world.
Well, skate fans, we know you just witnessed something very special here at stop number 2 on Vans Park Series 2017. We're going to leave you with a banger highlight package. We'll see you all in Malmö, Sweden. Galera, esse evento rola como se fosse todo mundo.